super chat. Well, I hope this helps get to the goal.
Let's see if he converts it.
Nice meeting you. Even if it sounds like I got trolled. Yeah, you must have got trolled. I've never heard of you, Mr. Salas. Seriously, I've never heard of you. And I wish you the best. Sorry that you got messed around with by some people, I guess. Thanks for the super chat. Okay. And I know from yesterday, that's about $5. Because we had a Mexican super chat yesterday, so we'll count that as 5. So thank you there.
We're almost at 2,000 members, which is amazing.
And then we have Bobby. Bobby Padlock just became a member.
Yeah, well, isn't Ethan Ralph like, yeah, because he has a warrant out for something, right?
Welcome, everybody.
Yeah, I heard about that as I fart. Yes, that was a fart.
I'm the pants pitcher.
I'll let it read it for you.
He donated $4.99.
Why did it go by Canes?
Hey, Philip, it's Ralph. You want to go get some coffee? We can go to Barnes and Noble and grab a coffee there.
Could you imagine if fucking Phil had a stalker like Ralph? He would lose his mind. Yeah, Kane, Alien Isolation on the Switch is not only a fantastic port, it actually has better image quality than the PS4 counterpart. I remember, Digital Foundry, again, I watched them doing it. I'm like, how the fuck is that even a thing? I mean, the Switch technically has, even though it's maybe more anemic, it has newer second tech in there, so, but it's still amazing.
At the standard level, and that's 3. So we're at $39 of support. We got a few minutes left on the podcast. Any final topics you guys want to talk about, please tag me. Could I argue the same about my content? Well, Mortarian, here's the thing. My content isn't predatory. My content is not harmful or negative in any way, right? People find value in my content, all right? If you like the content you need here, if you like me talking about games, about topics, reacting to people, playing games and the like, you support the content, and you know you're going to get more of it.
Your negative reaction content is hate watching someone else like RT. You know he hate watches me. He'll never admit it, and that's fine. And he would probably go on a 30-minute spiel saying he doesn't, but he does. And he, not predatory. The guy who says, if you don't donate to me, my wife's gonna have to cook dinner. Not predatory. The guy who even to this day, still begs. He just does it with goals now. Or won't start content until you pay him. It's not predatory. The guy who spent over $250,000 allegedly on WWE Champions and is spending thousands to this day. Making it like he's using his money for bills and for savings is not predatory. Oh, it's not one's business. Phil, you made it one's business. It's no one's business what anyone does with their money unless you make it people's business. If you incentivize people, again, I always say this and I know it's redundant, but fuck you, Phil. The incentive for donations isn't like you doing something cool. Even to this day, you just eat fucking food. It'll keep me. He even said, like, if I don't pay my taxes, I'll go to jail. Like, no, Phil, if you didn't file your taxes, you would go to jail. And even then, like, DSP 3 points are actually the opposite. Yep, 100%.
And now, as you guys have seen, in the last
100%,
8+ months, if I actually get significant support to the point where I can actually do things like solid improvements. I'm trying to turn my camera off.
And Assassin's Creed is kind of like...
actually hit on a chick.
Yeah, I won't even stop now. Now it's all screwed up. There we go. You see that I reinvest.
People are upset that choices that you can make in the game, basically.
What are you reinvesting in?
My thing is like, listen, everybody should be able to decide on their own.
I don't trust anything on that show.
But don't...
I've wiped my hands, Kyle, with that
tell
show.
Other people the decision that they should make and attack people for making a different decision than you.
I saw it.
There was a
Talking
big
about-
controversy that happened with Fighting Cowboy. He was streaming the game, and then as soon as Yosuke or Yakuze, whatever his name is, came on screen, as soon as Yasuke came on screen, people started making racist comments. So he stopped the stream and fucking yell at them. It's like, dude, what the fuck you guys doing? You know, like you can't come in this chat and say this shit.
Well,
you
that's
know?
a different problem, and that's fucked up.
Yeah,
100%.
and then people were saying he was crashing out. You know, the grifters.
Welcome everybody.
Like,
Thank you
dude,
for
like,
being here. Hope they're having a great night, great day.
He's like, dude,
man.
He streamed like for 30 minutes just explaining everything. Instantly, he's like, yeah, you shouldn't come to this stream and like say this racist shit, you know. It's you can do better things, and he's fucking jacked now.
Phil,
I would have fucking pissed him off. Like, Jesus.
I know you're talking about me. What is harmful about what?
Just a real quick plug. I posted my channel in the chat.
Are you the Lavinia?
I mean, I
think
think
processes or events over
shadows.
It's schizophrenia theory.
The entire controversy is
over Lavinia? Are you just like a sock account, or are you just another Lavinia player?
somewhat relevant.
You did join a year ago.
I mean,
Well,
maybe.
I mean, my thing about Assassin's Creed is that they kind of like, as a franchise, they kind of like,
What's up, dude?
they came out too many games too fast. So like, there's some games that are good, some that are bad. It's like it's a mixed bag with the franchise.
I would want to check it out.
Video collection is the best and worst they've ever had.
But you get what I'm saying, like for every good game, there's like 2 bad games. You know?
Yeah, so what you're
I
talking
think that
about
people
is what I related it to is actually my first, like the first video I ever posted because it was on my brain at the time.
Fucking weirdos that.
Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty are both.
There was one of them that lost their
It's called-
minds because
they're
they
guilty
found out
of
you were on the street.
the annual
100%.
release. Like,
And I donated some money to Phil.
like you're making a game
troll
that
him on
has
stream.
credibility to it, especially
Okay.
Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed should take time.
Even before
You should not
any
have
of the
annual
whole- when we were
releases of a
gonna do the
game
Mike Klum documentary. What the
like
fuck
it's a
happened
sports
to him,
game.
by the way? He did that bookie.
Yeah, and
You
the
always
thing
get
is,
That
there
bookie
is like
documentary.
even
He
the
just like
difference
went into like the
between,
witness protection program.
and this is where it works even worse for Assassin's Creed, is that Assassin's Creed
Like, but even
is
before
in and
that,
of
like,
itself,
like his over,
they may have
like,
a multiplayer
period of a
component,
few
but it's a
years
single
or
player
couple
game.
years,
They're not doing themselves any favors of
they were like,
releasing
oh, you
an
donated
annual
$400
game
to
that
Phil.
hasn't had enough time to cook. When it's a single player game,
So that's
it's
why
really
you hate me?
has to nail
And the weirdest thing about
experience, the
those
story
people,
sucking you in, you know.
I will
And
say they had
so like
4 years
annual
to cook.
releases
some
won't
of
do
them
that.
make money as a side hustle.
Yeah, they had
talking
4
about.
years to cook on
Like,
this.
Yeah.
you make
When
no
they
sense.
cook,
It won't come out.
it does seem when they let the game have the time, those are the good Assassin's Creed ones. It's
Fantastic.
it's the ones when they're just like, we gotta get out, and they really hurt the franchise because when they have like a good game that comes out, they've
Yeah, like someone
already
had a
put a
fucking
bad taste in the
spreadsheet,
mouth
like,
of
counting
people
out.
who
Like,
decided
they
to
sit
leave
there
because of
and
those bad
donate
ones.
to Phil.
You know, they're not
So,
Call of Duty.
that's
You know what I mean? Like they're not
Okay.
as redeemable as Call of
Don't worry
Duty.
about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
with my
I'd
money.
say they're a little
But
more
they're the same
redeemable.
people who, at the
Call of
same
Duty.
time, they're making
Not by
content
their
on
fan
it, they're making
base,
money off
because
it. Not all of
people-
them, but some of them.
Like Call
Not dude.
like Modern, when they redid Modern Warfare
like
2, it was
DNF.
fantastic.
He's filming
Then
it.
3 came out. People
something
didn't like it,
happens
but
with
they
Phil,
still got it because
it
there's that
guarantees
type
already a
of,
video
because it's a
game.
multiplayer and it's a massive franchise. They somewhat get away with it and don't lose the people who play the games versus a single player game where it's really like it's a solo commitment. And once people have a bad taste in their mouth, it's hard to get them back. And it's unfortunate because then they have like this game where they gave it time to cook, right? That would have really, the people that
No, they
were
don't.
fans
Lauren doesn't even do.
would have
she
been
doesn't watch
all
you, but she
in.
gets it.
You know, it's just it's
She's like, "Oh, that's the
penny
guy who
smart and dollar
masturbates-
stupid.
masturbated on stream."
And
This is
it's
what
like
I'd say.
they're their own worst
I'll say
enemy.
you're on track. You're really on track. But this is what I said in my Assassin's Creed, like what I've said in general about Assassin's Creed. Right?
Yeah,
I said that this game, if you go back to when it all started, Assassin's Creed roughly spans almost 20 years now.
In the
2027
end,
would be its 20th year anniversary.
Yep.
Save face.
So we're looking at 18 years worth of games. Assassin's Creed, really novel when it first came out in 07 on the 360. But one of my biggest points that I like to make is the Ezio collection. So Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and Revelation.
Juicy Boots says small
lot
cock.
of
Those were the three most popular games.
And you
This
want
happens every day.
something? Years
If
ago,
these people
when
don't
people
realize
go,
that they
"Oh,
think
I
what
want
they're
to check
doing
out
is funny
Assassin's
or
Creed,"
righteous or
people
justice,
would actually
and
say,
then
"Don't
not
play
about
the
any
first
of that,
one.
just entertaining.
Start with 2." Because the first one is pretty rough, but yeah, the second one is really the one that really should be
You
the
sit
launching
there
point if you want to like
and tell
start
people
earlier in the
how
franchise.
AMD
Start with
processors are meant to
2.
overheat.
To this day.
How the,
Yeah.
the computer
Yeah, you start with
got
2.
has
You
no
don't start with the
cooling on it.
first one.
4's really good though,
All this
and
different
then Rogue
stupid
was pretty
shit.
good.
The problem with Rogue is that
And then
Rogue
well,
was
Yakuza
made
wrong
for the
about every
previous
single thing you said
generation.
about
That was the best thing about it too.
You were like,
But
don't blame me.
it
It's my
was like,
audience that
but
told
it
me.
was made for the previous generation when it came out, because the one that took place in France, is it Unity?
dude.
That
Unity.
one, that
Come
one
on,
wasn't
dude.
cross-play, so they made like one for the previous gen and one for the current gen. And it happened to be that the past gen one was better than the current gen one at the time.
But Unity actually has its followers now, which apparently is pretty cool.
Because they finally fixed it.
Well, that's
Yeah,
real
that
life.
game had a lot of problems.
No, thank you.
It's mainly like the optimization with it, but now it's like anybody can play the game. So
Unfortunately, I mean that's a long
Dude,
time
mini
ago,
PC
because it was actually
breakdown.
like it was one of the first
That was
games
actually
for
fun.
PS4.
Where I ordered one of those.
Look, if you have to rank
and
the
proved to him
Assassin's Creed
it was
games,
actually more powerful and I
it's
think
pretty
slightly smaller,
like
if not the same
your top
size.
5 games.
As this had to be more. It had 680M graphics. which
Black
was
Flag was very
definitely
popular.
way more capable than what he had.
They
And I
basically
actually
took that
added
one
an SSD
like
to it
quest
for
that
storage.
everybody loved in
Which would add
Assassin's
more
Creed 3. And nobody liked Assassin's Creed 3 except for that one quest. And they made a game based on that one quest, which was
I'm
very
the one
smart of
living
them.
in- I have no self-awareness and I'm delusional. The guy who just spewed out nonsense.
I don't have the patience for
knowing nothing about
And,
the computer.
and that's the great thing, my friend,
That what
is
people pull him out
Assassin's
for
Creed
and
Shadows
blame
has a
his
game,
audience.
you know, you spend a few hours on it, and
He's the guy
Assassin's
who
Creed
lives in
Shadows
reality.
has a gameplay path for you. You just play as Yasuke, you don't have to speak nowhere, you just go through the whole camp in one go.
Insane.
Valhalla. Hey, the problem with Valhalla is that the game isn't a bad game. It's just not a good Assassin's Creed
Eric
game.
Arnold, thank you
Because
for
they kind of
coming to
lost
Edinburgh. See you
its
this week.
way with like what Assassin's Creed is. It's not a bad game. If it came out as a game that wasn't Assassin's Creed within the title, I think that the game would have been it would have been received better.
I just won't play any of the games because they're on.
No, you want to know who needs
They
a
are
groupthink
on
mentality? Someone who has
Uplay,
no
and I
fucking
don't play any
individuality,
games that are on
purpose,
Uplay.
or power to do
I
anything for
don't play.
themselves
I
in
don't
life.
play
They need to be
Ubisoft
told
games,
what to do, so then
but
they feel
doesn't
This
mean
is all
like
protection.
I
This
don't
is
like. Well, I
exactly
tried
what
like
you're
Ubisoft
in, you're
to
in the
him.
first mission of the game.
like they're doing
If
something in
you,
the
You started
you
playing
know,
every
like the
hardwire.
Swifties who need to be
But
part
yeah,
of it.
Valhalla.
Well, you're
A
part
lot
of
of the complaints about Valhalla were the things that
factually
they
doesn't
added
apply to me.
into that made it
90%
not
of your
feel
detractors
Assassin's
hate me.
Creed. And I think like
Some of you know.
marketing as like it's this like Viking thing or whatever, but it really
Welcome,
kind of
everybody.
wasn't.
Some of them hate me more than
It was
they
a little.
hate you.
Hey, Juicy Booch, how's it going?
I'm not kidding.
If you have the premium version of PS
Boochie.
Plus, you have
So I'm not like in a group
Oh
if you have
yeah,
the
I know. I
premium
have access
version
to
of
all of
PS
them.
Plus, you have Uplay built
Carlos is a
in.
porcelain.
So
Yeah,
hardwire.
and
I'm stuck
actually
on
you
the
have.
third level.
If you have, I think you don't have to have premium. I think you have to have the one in between like the
Extra.
Essential and the Premium, you have access to all of the Assassin Creeds.
I'm stuck on the 3rd level of
DSP
Parapedia.
hate mob. You're the same.
I'm going through my motorcycle
You're just
videos.
one of a drop in
I
a
refuse
bucket
to
of
play
people
any
who are
Assassin's
nuts.
Creed after
And it's getting worse.
the bullshit that
As a
was
fellow fatty, I love
Unity
you.
and
Thank you, sir. I love you too. 78
I
papers.
yeah, when
nothing to do with
when
it.
Brotherhood
And one
was
day,
free on,
something
I mean,
crazy is gonna
sorry,
happen,
not
and I'm not
Brotherhood,
gonna be
when
involved
Syndicate
with
was
it.
free on
I've
Xbox. I
already
played a little
disavowed
bit
all
of
this
that
shit.
and
This is
thought
why
it was
so many
just
people. Why don't you
absolute
just
garbage.
What?
Well,
Yeah, dude,
the
I know that they're
What
the
do you do on the 3rd
extremists
level
in your
of the game?
detractors.
Going with the tanks and stuff. Like, I'm like,
if that
stuck in
happens, what does it have to do with you? There's psychopaths in every fucking. Dude, I had people threaten me because they didn't like something I said about the PS4.
I sided with the PSA.
I've had Ed G. Thank you for becoming a member.
Go clear out the communists in the apartment block and
thank
clear
you,
out
thank you.
the
79
joy
members.
cultists. And
like, especially politics. Holy
there's
fuck,
another.
man.
Okay, so you know that main apartment
Yeah, Phil,
block
there's
where
people that are nuts out there.
Yeah.
Whether it's people that hate watch you, whether it's people that are fanboys of a certain company. Granted, that
I made it there.
Going away with how
Yeah,
one with the like big giant flight of stairs. Yeah.
Whether it be politics.
It's like, hey, we got a situation.
This is all just you sitting on a soapbox trying to make it like
offer to help them.
you're the smart one and everyone else is
kill all the
nuts.
communists, get their data, and then
It's
talk to
absolutely 100%.
Oh, so I just need to go back to him at that point.
Why don't you don't be a part of it, engage your detractors, because I'm not going to be responsible, man.
And,
okay.
then you go back to the train station.
You had like someone on
manager there, you bring him the data, and then he tells you to go kill the.
You don't make any sense.
Nah, I'm not going to be responsible when this shit hits the fan. I'm going to stay out of it. I was doing my own thing. I was sitting here.
Don't worry, Kane. Thank you for 80 memberships. Let's go.
Yeah.
You go hunt him down and talk to him.
Yo, it's funny how Casino talks about my applause.
What year does the game take place in?
Yeah, thank you. I fucking love that game, and I want to play more of it. It's just I was stuck on that mission.
Literally got the cowbell, doesn't he? PPP. Yeah, and it's amazing. I have self-worth. You don't. You get it?
So
you're the only locale I don't despise.
What game is it?
Cheap fucking bastard.
Is it post
World War
II
cheap
or
fuck.
is it during
Post
World War II?
What game is it?
This is like a cyberpunk.
Dude, when he got asked
the game that Hardwire's talking about.
Video.
Yeah.
That's Parapedia.
How do we describe this game, Fuka?
It's a immersive sim that is by a Polish
I'm gonna ask her
studio,
about
I
the video
think.
from August. Doc, that was hilarious.
So it's
by
probably
Polish studio,
saying how
and
he
it's
was
extremely
successful.
schizophrenic.
Kind of
How do you-
flexing in
what's
August.
it on?
Doc, who again,
On
one of
PC.
his videos
And
gets the same amount of viewership.
Is it
as
on-
Phil's
is it on
live stream
Steam?
channel does a
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
Parapitium?
I'll post it in the chat here.
Literally,
Yeah, 'cause I'm not
playing
seeing
games,
it when I
chill
type
out,
it. It's not
podcast,
fun.
enjoying life, and dig.
It's so it's like if
I
you like
guess so.
really old like
Again,
I'm talking
personally,
like
I wish
really
I would have
old
Zappa
shooters and
fucking
stuff like
mic
System
stand.
Shock,
It went off the deep end, and it wasn't me
System
involved.
Shock,
You know? Every one of
Deus
these
Ex,
people who do
Thief.
this shit are gonna get exposed.
It would be
and it ain't
something
even
up
gonna be
your
good.
alley.
Kind of looks like
People
Golden.
are
Can
super
you
crazy.
spell it?
The guy's
I
fucking
posted in
game
the
was
chat.
super
It's,
crazy, and people were so dumb they gave the guy money because he said
But
he
as
was
to,
like,
uh,
for
with the
something he
ability
couldn't
to aim down
possibly
sights.
sue for because it was all a fairy tale fake, and they gave the guy thousands of dollars.
But as to
He is the first
Syndicate,
example of how this thing will
the problem
continue
is
on
like when you
over
have
time.
games where you're like where stealth is in there,
Oh, wait.
that's not a co-op. You can't.
It's not
That's not a
some-
co-op game.
Like, dude,
Let's-
some of your
let's see
haters
this
who
shit,
also hate me.
baby. This shit's funny.
Yeah, dude, they go
that
too
was-
far. They said shit about my kid, and I'll never like.
I
them
know
because-
I know Enraged was trying to talk
I
about
never
something, but we were in the middle of the
understand that, like,
conversation,
to me,
so I
that's
do
how I
apologize to Enraged.
I want to say whatever the fuck I want to say.
I mean,
I'm
Syndicate,
shooting
honestly,
arrows between
they
my
didn't
toes,
even
drinking
like
seltzers.
really like have a big marketing
fat
push because
fuck,
I think they
whatever the hell you
knew
wanna
that
say
it was a
about
dog. no game where like stealth and things like that is part of it. Like it doesn't work in co-op. It doesn't work.
But that's extreme.
Yeah,
like those are.
I haven't played a single Assassin's Creed game since.
Now, would I ever do anything
between Unity
and
talking
shit about
Syndicate
you online
so
like
hard
this?
for the multiplayer aspect?
Would I ever come to
never.
It always
threw my
pisses
hands
me
up.
off.
Years ago, I tried playing the first one, and I was like, "This is like borderline unplayable." And my ex was like, "No, start with 2." And I was like, "Okay." And I was playing 2, but I ended up with a glitch that basically game ended me because of the auto save. And I threw my hands up. I'm like, and that's the end for me. So
I've never had a weed seltzer.
But the original
That's why I always
Assassin's
found it
Creed
funny.
was
That was another
so
thing.
bad that it's a fucking miracle that Ubisoft made a sequel to it at all.
You should have.
yeah, no, that's why my ex was like, "No, just stop playing that and play 2."
You would have felt it.
But you know, I got interested in the first Assassin's Creed whenever a friend brought over his PS3 to my house, and then he's just like, and then like I was like, "Whoa, this is actually really fucking fun!" And like we just sat and just kept like what was it countering the Templars, just like had a group of 50 Templars just fucking dead because you just kept countering them.
To suck your money.
It just aged like
they're
milk,
leeches, vipers,
especially when 2 had come out. Like it just
2 is so much better.
Yeah, it just it didn't cut the mustard. But
one of my cousins maxed out the original Assassin's Creed on 360.
the problem I had is I was in
No, you see,
I was chasing after somebody. I was playing 2.
He says, but they're just enjoying
and it was on like
people enjoy
horseback
yours,
or
but it's
whatever.
not content. It's non-content.
And
Yeah, it's not content because it criticizes
he got away from me. But so I had I would restart it from like the save point or whatever. But he was right at the edge of the map where he would escape. So 2 seconds after it started, it'd be like, "You failed," and I couldn't go back. And that's where I threw up my hand and said, "Fuck this." This happens a lot. I'm like the queen of finding the glitches.
I actually found a glitch in Assassin's Creed 2, but it didn't break my game.
Like, oh, if I do the same thing, just pretend it never happened.
No, this one was like I literally couldn't.
Did he get
I couldn't like catch him because he spawned right at the edge.
Yeah, I had a
I know I could search.
I had a duplication glitch in Assassin's Creed 2 on the PS3.
Is this content, Phil?
So, do you guys remember the mission where you got to go to like the carnival and do like 3 tasks in order to get a certain mask?
I can make pot.
No, I probably didn't get that far.
I debunked everything you said anyway.
Well, you have to go up on the rooftop and sneak around just a little bit.
Was this content, Phil?
And I assassinated this guard,
it's okay because
right?
it's you, right?
That was like on the edge, looking over with a crossbow or with a bow or whatever.
Yeah, it's not
and
begging.
I assassinated him, and then other guards just started spawning out of him.
No, we got
like
it.
30 seconds, I hit a rooftop full of Florentian guards.
Forgets this shit. Rules for thee, but not for me.
Like they went from one guard to like 70.
You know, it was funny when even I
accept that I will encounter glitches that are like sometimes very amusing, but I am really good at finding like the glitches that like just completely fuck your game.
His brain just blocks it out. Like there was
those are never funny.
And he was like, "Yeah, so anyway."
No, because they usually end up really messing up the save file.
Don't just say.
I'm curious. Is the
it's
Thief game
mostly
made
fabricated,
by Ubisoft too?
mostly extrapolated,
No.
mostly over exaggerated? It's just not real. It's fake content.
I remember playing
every day.
Thief.
Phil farted on stream. Here's 17 videos about it. That's not content.
Well, it's a stealth game.
Made by
Thief was the game
it's made by Looking
That's
Glass.
funnier. Like, that would actually be pretty funny.
This level, stop. There's no validity to it.
Thief was made by Looking Glass,
If I
like
put
the
them all
original.
around in a game.
And it's toxic and it's not truthful. You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff that they're saying is actually harmful content. Now, luckily, I've now been.
Well, there's different play styles. You can actually, Thief 1 actually has combat in it.
Detractors make his content digestible. And like I always say, Kyle, when he cries about they're taking my money, no bullshit, Phil.
Yeah.
They wouldn't watch your shit.
Thief 1 didn't really have a direct
where you're just staring at the screen.
Well, I don't
for
like
30 minutes
around
waiting
this
for
bunny
a
hop
super
and I just fucking flag check
so
back in the head.
They just want to get to the stupidity they want it distilled.
That's actually
And you would never
the
do that for
reboot
yourself
of
because you don't have
Wolfenstein, the first one.
to do it.
That's what I missed about Wolfenstein 2, is that one like let you, you could go out guns blazing, or you could like play stealth. Like it literally
It didn't
had.
punish you for doing it either.
No, it was literally you pick your game
like
style,
slow motion,
and then the second one they're like, no, guns blazing. They didn't like
I want to
let
warn
you.
God damn it.
About the final level. The main thing I want to warn you about currently is that the final level is extremely fucking long, and the last like kind of situation that allows you to get closer to that allows you're basically trying to move along a train track, right? The last thing that you need to do, there will be a time limit.
Phil is cursing me.
Get evidence on 2 different sides. And the reason why I adore this game came to fruition. I couldn't find all of the evidence, right? So they did their meeting in 10 minutes because you have 10 minutes to find all the evidence. And they said that because I couldn't find the evidence, I was a traitor, and they both like opened up on each other and then at me. And then to continue, I just fucking killed them all.
Old Lego stuff.
I like how open-ended it is. Like, it's just like... And it doesn't hold your hand, and like... but that's kind of like... the only thing I kind of wish was, like, I kind of like... wish each level would have, like... kind of like a hint on what to do, but I like exploring anyways.
So the hints... check your journal.
Okay.
Your journal will always give you, like,
like, I'm used to Thief games, like, giving a little intro about, like, what you're doing, you know?
The dev has explicitly stated that getting lost is,
and I thought I had it under control, too, and it was like a slow-motion disaster.
This is the devs, one of the devs,
yeah, that's what I drink. This is a seltzer. But this is the Spindrift shit?
It's meant to filter out normies and games journalists.
So it has, like, a teeny tiny amount of juice.
Yeah.
I didn't get anything on this doc.
My first day on their server was awesome. I witnessed a games journalist start complaining in the general chat about how the game is too open ended and they can't figure out where to go, and the entire chat just like bullied them and called them a bad gamer.
There was someone at PC Gamer wrote an article about the game saying it was like their favorite game that they played.
Fun fact, that was actually supposed to do something.
Yeah, but it wasn't like they got the game, you know. They didn't like get lost and do everything.
Good, I'm glad you're home safe, dude. That could have been a real bad fucking.
It's awesome. I like the freedom.
Josh,
well, that's the thing about like with game reviews, the person assigned to it. It's also dependent on like the person who's assigned to like review the game. Is this the type of game that like they would play? Because that makes a big difference.
I think there needs to be a fair amount of criticism in game journalism, because not every game is going to benefit from being reviewed by a bunch of rabid fans that basically form an echo chamber that insulates the developer from any constructive criticism. But you can't have overwhelmingly negative reviews either. Game reviewers need to find a balance, and very few of them do.
Well, it's like a From game if you're not a Soulsborne player, you can't really review a From type game, even if it's not by From Software, right? Because like you're just going to get really, really frustrated, but that game isn't for that type of player. You have to have somebody who like knows how these games play to review it well.
That's true, but you also have to have somebody that maybe has played the games but isn't a huge fan of them, just to balance everything out.
Well, you're always going to have
It's about their
bias.
skill level. Like, look at Dean Takahashi. Couldn't fucking finish the tutorial level in Cuphead. And that guy's still not fucking playing.
You would put a guy who specializes in reviewing FPS games. You wouldn't give him a fighting game.
Is that not?
Yeah, it's not about what the like, are they able to play the game first? Have they played the game? Yes, okay. They can form their opinion on it. But Dean Takahashi should have never fucking reviewed Cuphead.
Yes, the downfall of Israel, you're seeing it.
But he's still incapable of learning.
100%.
So it's a cool website.
But at the same time, it was hilarious that he couldn't even get past it. It's like almost like it's almost like a comedic review.
Alright, I'm gonna dip out and then I'm gonna rejoin on PlayStation.
Alright.
Well,
this is called
this is
Sorry.
There's this video out there where they give this bird a similar task tutorial level to do, and they compared it to
I should start exercising.
Yeah, I just posted.
Yeah, I got a mini dick.
I figures it out real fast.
Wanted to play gorilla.
Yeah, I love those videos just because they're hilarious.
I posted, Dream Barbecue. It's the first episode is going to be coming out free on the 27th. It's going to be so good.
Personally, I hate the Dark Souls series. And it's not because of the difficulty thing. It's because there's absolutely no fucking glory.
It's having fun.
Line. With no explanation, no overarching story. And you basically got no fun for any little pieces of lore to try and figure out what the fucking universe is about.
Oh my god.
And that drives me nuts. Now, you look at
anything that strokes a narcissist.
You look at Trump's other games
that are snakes. Feel pity for people that are snakes?
Armored Core.
I don't feel pity because I feel the people that are the snakes, the ones who are controlling these communities, are pretty underhanded scumbags.
I'm not.
Like they know exactly what they're doing. It's not like
I don't even know if
Armored Core 3 gives you a vague explanation.
I don't even think I can watch the fight. Isn't it against terms of service to watch? Or is it?
Well,
I stumbled into it. I didn't realize. No, they know exactly
the whole thing about
and they don't care. They have the rules. They have the
in-game universe is you're a lone mercenary.
Again, I apologize about that too.
You're given missions, and you learn a little bit about the world as you go along. You don't get a tremendous amount of lore, but it's enough. Whereas in Dark Souls, you get absolutely fucking nothing when you're
so much evidence
picking up little reading material as you go along. And to me, that's not enough structure to actually be enjoyable. I think it harms itself by being
so true.
I think a lot of people that play those games, though, the lore is second to the art and the difficulty.
Until it wasn't working anymore because they had no real ideas that would work and they had no clout to make anything happen. So they just went back to their old stick of dumping on film. But that was
can't really roll
one was always cap
film. Drop into the real world.
Fucking liar.
oblivious, but as you
so
grow up
desperate
and
for
learn,
friends, so desperate
develop,
that they
you
would bring
learn
in an
about
audience that you
culture,
sat there,
art, politics, all the
probably just
boring
naive,
shit that
which is
the world
really pathetic.
encompasses.
It actually would make it look better.
Yeah, if they're trying
just
to
so naive and
mimic
can't pick
that,
up on social
they're
cues
failing because
tism.
there's
Then if you
actual
were just like, all
structure.
right, let them shit all over me.
Yeah.
Instead of pretending to be my friends, so I
If
pretend I
you're
have friends,
if
and
you
I can
drop
gain
the
clout from it.
blind and you have no idea
if that is
what's going on around you, basically like one of the fucking victims of the week in General Hospital.
Ass metaphorically for clout and money. Pretend you have friends. That's just
I guess for people who don't really care about the overarching story.
I knew all along what's going on. By the way,
it defines a role-playing game. You're playing a fucking role.
So you still don't really get it, Phil. You still don't get it. You just want to pretend that you got it.
Yeah,
so
I
you can
wouldn't
save
either.
face, which is the exact. It doesn't help you. It makes you look stupid. It makes you look worse.
Capitalize on the traffic. That literally was their plan day one. They even said it in the fucking PMs that you guys can publicly read. They said it over and over. We're going to get these detractors. We're going to get their money. We're going to get their views.
Yeah.
They've said it since day one. Yet right now, those detractors.
Yeah, I'll jump on this.
There's one thing I gotta say.
Show with Phil, but I have zero.
You need to get good.
And I would be working with Phil.
Get good, dude.
I live 30 minutes away from you.
Good, come over here. Come get your Viper cassette.
Detractors are so stupid. They're watching casino content. And they're giving them money. That's how dumb they are. It literally in black and white is exposed that this was their plan all along to milk them, and they're saying, okay, let's be milked.
Oh yeah,
We'll watch the thing with the wings first, then we'll go into that.
But I mean, when I call these people dumb, they really are. Like, there's no self-awareness there to realize this was the scam all along, and you're just falling for it, hook, line, and sinker. They're that stupid.
Yeah, it was all part of his master plan.
You know, I'm gonna white knight a little bit to the Dark Souls fans, right? Is that their games get a lot of criticism of it's too hard, and if it was made easier, they wouldn't be fans of it. So I think I think their attitude kind of also comes from the fact that like the games also get criticized for the heart of what the game is supposed to be. So I think it's kind of become its own monster with its fan base.
Let's be real. This is 100% fair criticism. Yeah, Dark Souls fans are kind of in early Xbox 360 era lobby.
I ordered a game from Indiegogo and it won't let me sign it to my account, so I'm sitting here like, I bought this game this morning and I can't even fucking get it yet.
Maybe it was a blessing in disguise. I turned and asked about the microphone.
I'm trying to say what I want.
Because I feel like the drinking is a very sensitive topic with him. He's sensitive about everything. That would have been an instant cut.
I don't know. I'm just happy that us kids over
safe. What's up right now? So, wait a second. Your entire thing was that you pretended to be friendly with them. Which one is it? You can't be both.
Disillusion ST is a fucking amazing game. Just games that are extremely fucking
even to his heart, Phil has to feel that he's the smartest guy. And if you question that,
Well, I mean, if you want a weird game,
You don't
haven't played it yet, but I definitely
Again,
want
people are
to.
so dumb. They say
The
the
game
dumbest
is
shit.
called Norco.
So there's no point even
It takes
addressing what
place
they're
in
saying.
a little town called
If you
Norco in
were just given
Louisiana.
all of
I've
these
fucking
laws
been
written
there.
for
I've
these
worked there.
conclusions, and you're that stupid,
It
I'm
is
just,
a
I'm gonna waste time addressing.
a fucking pit stop on the
Stupid one
road.
taking blogs at face value.
Yeah,
Like, oh yeah. What's his name? Is it Freebridge?
But it's a
edition. Yeah, pretty
it's
much.
like an old style
Remastered in
text
HDR.
RPG where things get weirder and weirder as you go along.
4K HDR.
And it sounds fucking awesome. But yeah, Norco is a little town on the way towards New Orleans. It's got a couple of oil refineries, and that's where most of the money comes from. You got a few,
like holy shit,
restaurants. You got some grocery stores, gas stations, shit like that.
But anyway,
the bulk
point
of
I'm
the
making,
money
this is the only point I'm
comes
making.
from
The hate watching is
the
what I
oil
don't
industry.
understand, because the hate watching is
And,
why there's a vortex.
Yeah, it's just a.
If people were just smart enough to say, all right, I really don't like DSP for these
quiet,
reasons, and if you have valid
working
reasons, good
class
for you.
town, so I'm kind of
I'm gonna stay away from them,
what
and if there
kind of
ever is some kind of
weirdness
downfall,
there is in the game. It sounds fucking
Well,
awesome.
there is a
but,
downfall, Phil. You're in it right now.
Yeah.
How do you not get
that? It's on my list, but I have so many games on my list to fucking
It's disgusting, Mr.
that I haven't done.
You're in a downfall right now. You don't have the self-awareness to see it, but you are. Will it actually be enough to you have to deal with something else for a living? Probably.
They're very weird.
Joe, you can't bear your sex. How they can be a member for 5 months.
Now there's another thing. I do have it. I haven't gotten around to playing guys. If you're into like old school, PlayStation era, PlayStation 2 era horror games, it takes place in
don't forget my downfall,
little town. Guy
if this is
the main character is a clerk at a video store, and a serial killer on the loose.
What's the game called?
Called Rewind.
This is the most damage that's been done to Phil, and I will say.
It looks a little rough. It looks PlayStation
beginning. This
one,
would be
but yeah, from what I played, it's shaping up to be a pretty decent game.
brutal to his career. Maybe
I
ever.
recommended it to Jay.
Yeah, this may
Play
be
through it.
I'm not saying it's going to finish him. That they call him Pink Roach for a reason.
There's also Cult of the Lamb. That got a if you've got two people that have Cult of the Lamb on the same platform.
Okay, within the ashes,
I've got one.
within the ashes,
it was free one.
where he's like, I've never seen somebody who can't do
You can load up with a friend and go through it.
No, thank you.
I don't know if
I'm good.
If it's strictly co-op or if there's a competitive aspect to it. But
I'm just fine.
It's exposed as some of the things we accuse them of are real.
Thank you. Within
Then
the
I'll come
ashes,
back
being
and
a
I'll
cheap
enjoy the
ass
downfall. Instead of, I literally sit there every day watching people restream, make toxic videos. I throw the money. I donate constantly. Even though the people have publicly said they're doing it just to milk me, I'm too stupid to care. I still throw the money because I'm that much of a dunce because I enjoy hating DSP. Do you not understand that's mental?
As much as I am not a fan of them, Phil, to put it lightly, I will say that I hate them. Maybe people are donating
That's an AI image that came up when I typed in Siri.
It was very entertaining.
Figure you might get a kick out of that, making your Discord
they find me entertaining. That's why
avatar image.
I have 81 new members, I think.
I'm the pants pisser.
What about it? Brothers after work,
I figure you might get a kick out of it, maybe making your Discord picture.
Dragon Ball Z. I mean smart guys.
Yeah. There is, dude, he's already blocked me again on Twitter. RTU's Brothers After Work Burrito, thank you. Here, instantly, like right after, like it just shows how petty he is. Like, what do you think I'm gonna do, dude? Stalk you? On fucking Discord.
I've been playing
he went right
Dragon
away
Age
and unfriended me because he
it's
was
free on
butthurt.
PlayStation this month, and
It's actually a good
so
game
weird.
if you can like ignore all the retarded pronoun conversations.
Phil wants route to, but the media.
well, I don't have a problem with that.
I would be
because,
100% down
that's,
for that.
Just let's face it. It's
To be
a
honest with you,
Canadian
that'd be
company.
entertaining.
The people that criticize are generally like alt-right,
Super ultra liberals. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it don't bother me either because
that
pronouns
Jocelyn
aren't
made
really a part of my life.
Where it's the
I don't know
coterie
anyone that goes
talking
by
about his
different
coffee
pronouns.
company and
I
his looks
don't.
pissed off, and Phil
If
looks
some-
pissed
if
off
some-
right behind him.
If some
is,
characters want to use pronouns with each other, I don't give a fuck.
It is.
But the thing
There's
is,
Sorry.
a lot of
Again,
Americans
go talk to
think
anyone
that
outside of your
BioWare,
vortex
is
about what you're doing.
too
Tell them
woke,
exactly what you're
and
doing
they
on a daily
don't
basis
really
and see how they
appreciate
react
the
to you.
fact that
It's
BioWare
not
is
going
not
to
an
be, that
American
sounds like
company;
fun.
it's
Can
a
I
Canadian
join?
company, and there is a
Yeah,
slight cultural
Phil,
disconnect.
in the age of reality TV
And
shows,
if you buy the game,
if I told people about your whole fucking,
I like what
Yes.
Loon Acid did, and
They
they
would
were
be
making
like,
their game
"This is
around the
entertaining."
time that around the time that the whole pronouns controversy happened. So they added pronouns to their game
Think
that
about it.
does not to their game
It's gonna
that
be
does
like,
nothing.
what?
And they even
What
added
the
neo
fuck are we
pronouns
talking
too to
about?
piss everyone off.
Are you need help?
And your
Like,
obsession
I'm
with
in the
this
middle,
is you
like,
hate
as a
that you were
consumer,
labeled
I don't
as
care,
this.
but at
You
the
hate
same
it, but
time,
dude,
I
the
respect
worst
that
thing you
people are
can
actually
do
speaking with their
is
wallets
just this
on what
obsessive
they
talking
want.
about it, but you'll
Like,
never
sure, what they
understand
want
that
might be a toxic
because
thing,
it just eats at
but
you.
it's still
This
freedom.
is why you
And I am
drink yourself to
100%
sleep
for freedom
probably every night.
in this
Another,
world.
you look at another game, and this was made by an American company, but
Right
Starfield
now,
did the whole pronouns
please,
thing.
let's go talk
And
to
there's
someone.
actually a very
This
good
is what you're doing
reason
with your day.
in lore
But the
for it
problem
if
is,
you play
so
through
many
the
people
game.
now, your entire existence is
Yeah,
online.
once you
they would
beat
think it's
the game,
entertaining.
you become
Right?
Starborn.
You do have
You're
an outside
basically
life outside of your home.
cosmic
And that's
entity.
how you portray yourself to the people
with
you need to interact with on a daily
supernatural
basis.
reality
But then
bending
you come
powers,
home,
and
and the entirety of your life is
all
online.
of the Starborn,
Phil, your entire
where
existence,
these
you don't. You told.
androgynous,
Do you not remember the
self-contained
things that you told
spacesuits,
PPP? Or you just
helmet,
that
backpack,
you
all
don't
built
leave your
into
house
it.
except once a week,
The
and you do
faceplate
all of
is
like your errands and
completely
shit
blacked
once a
out,
week,
so
and you just
don't
stay
know
hunkered
the
down
gender
there
of the Starborn. And
like there was a
yeah,
nuclear explosion,
typically
and you're
that
hiding
allows
from the
them
fallout in a bunker
degree
with
of
your wife.
anonymity in game.
Yeah, his
that,
tolerance is
allows
high,
them to
man. He
pursue
takes
their
those
goals.
shots.
So
He's like, "Oh, I asked
the
for a
they
lot of money because I don't want to drink too much."
actually
Shut the fuck up,
tracks.
Phil.
You don't have
Yeah.
anyone in the real
But
world who
it's
actually
not,
deals
it's
with real
not a
shit that
pronouns
matters
for the sake
to tell
of
you to
just
stop.
having it in the game.
And we have this
and
entire
it's not,
insane.
you know,
The irony of
there,
it, Phil.
like I said, it built,
Someone needs
built
to
into
tell
the
you
lore.
to stop.
There's good reasons for it. It also
The people
allows
that you
for the
proactively
twist
affiliating
in the middle of the story.
the level
One
of
of the
delusion that you
Starborn
live
that
in.
are pursuing the main character.
I would love to talk.
Yeah,
Is it you
the
or is it me? I
Starborn
need to know.
basically
Like,
once
I need to turn
you know
off
once
my
they become a
as I
Starborn,
initially
they're
thought, which
kicked
is, I
into
guess,
a
good.
parallel universe
No, I hear
that's very similar.
you. No, it's
And
fucking the
yeah, one of the
you literally
Starborn that's
live in a
trying to
fantasy.
stop you is one of your group, and
Fantasy world.
yeah, you don't find
And
out
you're a
who it is until
pathological
after
liar.
a mission where one of your group gets killed, and their identity
Even
is
down to the point when you
contingent
got
on that
exposed for
death.
having the WWE
Whether
Championship
it's
account.
a
You
male or
said that you
female
sold it.
character that
And we know
dies,
that's not
that
true.
that
So you
character's
sold it,
death,
Phil, but it just so happens
yeah,
that account
makes
is
the
active when you're
one
not
of the
streaming.
pursuing Starborn that person.
Oh, we need to
That's how
get
they
going.
link the story together. So you
Wait,
don't
he
find
can
out
hear
who.
He's in cold online doing fucked
Yeah,
up
there's
underhanded
the
shit.
hunter, and then there's
And there's no one who's
another
looking at it. There's no one
with,
who's policing it. It's wild. We have so
not the
many
prophet.
checks
the
and balances,
emissary, I
laws,
think is what
and
they
things in
say.
place. In the
It-
real
it
world, we
calls
have nothing
itself.
online to stop this
But,
madness. Nothing.
yeah, the
This has been
emissary
the
is
wildest thing.
one
all right,
of
there's
the
a grain of
constellation
truth to that, but not from what you're talking about. Yes, Phil, I agree. There's some people who really fucked up shit on that. It affects people.
Yeah, that's the identity
but
of
what you're talking about here is just being butthurt.
Yeah. So until you get to that point,
we don't need the feelings.
The pronoun don't come.
That's not the same.
Layer of ambiguity.
17 years as a creator,
and it works.
And I've seen content creation change a billion times, so many times. At first, it was this ultimate positivity, so much happiness that anyone would even make content at all because it was all free and it was like a really cool thing that people would dedicate their time. No one's making money doing it, so thank you so much, right? And then all of a sudden, it became a pissing contest on who's going to put out the content first, who's going to make the best content, because all of a sudden monetization came into play and it became a cutthroat dog-eat-dog world.
Yeah, that's human nature. Yeah, I agree with you on that too. The thing is, you did nothing. You actually didn't do it. You wouldn't even get a capture card until you were screaming into doing it. You could have easily been, if you didn't get into this shit, if you actually got a capture card in a reasonable amount of time, you could have been the rat. It's funny, like everything that guy posts, man, he still gets hundreds of thousands of views with his playthroughs. And he's still doing it like it's still 2013. You just feel like it's a Gundam Stead. You started on the ground floor. That's why you got a following. You're one of the first to do it. When everyone told you, hey, Phil, did you capture this? Fuck off. Anyone who gave you any advice on anything, you told them to fuck off. And this is why you are where you are. I think it's like $100 for him to do a shot. Yeah, Never Blowing Bubbles, it's $100. Thank you for being a member, by the way, so Never Blowing Bubbles.
So then it became, hey, your content sucks. No, your content sucks. No, your content sucks. And everyone started toxically attacking each other. And then it became, well, since now there's money in it, we're going to come in with production value. Instead of it being people who have passion, it's now people who come into it just to make money. So I come up with a budget and I come up with a team and we all make this content together, produced content. And then all the content online started becoming fake. And then people started realizing that drama sells. And content became less about passion and positivity and fun or being a guru or an authority on a subject or an expert. And instead it became, how do I destroy other people for profits? And it's just...
Dude, Phil.
Birdman donated $5 to the super chat. You ever listen to
yes.
Song and it starts sounding
well, don't worry. We're going to go into Wings and the Messages where Dr. Seuss shouldn't stop. Thank you, Birdman. Thank you, Composite Frylock. Relax Peg Danis for being cheap asses. Appreciate you. Thank you, Birdman.
I can go through a 17-year history of how crazy stuff has gone over this time period and how it's changed. And now we are where we are, and it's the most toxic of all right now. Because now it's been bank on hurting people. That is the way to get ahead. Even the biggest creators are scammers. Doesn't fucking Mr.
Felt rich again, King.
Beast and Logan Paul. Crypto scam, fooling the audience into buying autographs.
Alright, Phil. You didn't do any crypto pump and dumps, but you still lied about living paycheck to paycheck and you were using the money on WWE champions and Jin. Because let's be honest here too. With the way it's, remember he was saying, "Oh, I'm no longer an alcoholic." Are you? Oh, really? First off, that's you prove it with that's bullshit. You're drinking now on stream. And wait until let's just get through this so we can get to the DMs
that aren't real.
Wings
Buy
first.
Junk food Lunchables. It's the most fucked up thing. And the thing is, people are just not smart enough to actually see this stuff for what it is. They just eat it up. Digest, you know. But again, in the...
Kane gifting a membership and Birdman becoming a membird. Which means we'll see you for the members-only streams this week. All the streams this week are going to be members-only streams.
Yap Yap Jr. donated $5 through Super Chat. Positive IE. I'm not gonna put in a bottle and breastfeed it to you.
I still have them.
I'm not gonna put it in a bottle and breastfeed it to you.
Breastfeed it to you. Yeah, Phil is one of the first toxic YouTubers. That is correct. He was one of the pioneers of toxicity. Yap Yap Jr. I like your name, by the way. Gin and
hello, motherfucker.
Maintains. I may eat my salad for dinner. Hate eating on stream as always.
I'm the
but
pants pisser.
Danny for donated $5 through Super Chat. Phil was one of the first toxic YouTubers.
All right, we'll see what happens. We're going to look into the DMs. Oh, yeah, he was one of the pioneers, Danny. Yeah, Phil. Yeah, he's not an alcoholic. I'll let it say. Is it going to say? Unless I'm mistaken, I did see leak from DSP admitted still owning down for the ultimate.
I'm the pants pisser.
Smoking gun PPP.
Dark Skin Phil donated $5 through Super
Which
Chat.
you can't trust
Funny
any
parties.
of that.
Phil admits he started during YouTube because of the money. It had nothing to do with being passionate about it.
Well, yeah, because oh my God, what's his tab at right now? 4.8 big gigabytes. Time to refresh. Well, yeah, he was doing it before he got laid off from his job. Let's keep it real.
The nap was pretty good. I closed my eyes for a minute, listened to his ass.
But then, meaning that from the beginning, he was begging people to click on his ads. He was talking about his PayPal link.
I'm the pants pisser.
That's what got his AdSense account.
Yeah, no, that was pretty good.
He is not an alcoholic. He's a casual mid-Eastern European drinker, kind of like a Polish man on Christmas. Yes, very true.
Real world, outside of the internet, there's checks, balances, laws, and things to protect you from this kind of shit. On the internet, there's nothing. Again, in 20 years, life has changed so much as we become a digital society that a guy like me who literally just sits here and just makes gaming content, and that's all I wish to do.
The king
Make
of
gaming
felting.
content, hang out with my audience, maybe branch out to some other interests like wrestling or whatever it may be, right? All that stuff. That's all I...
Yeah, because he told
the
people
pants pisser.
one time he indirectly.
Troll McTrollington donated $6 Canadian and 50 cents through Super Chat.
I'll let it say
He
it.
is not an alcoholic. He is
Yeah.
a casual Eastern European drinker, kind of like a Polish man on Christmas.
Except Christmas is every day. Yeah, one time he's like, he knew it was wrong too. He's like, hey, if you really want to support me, you know what to do. Hint, hint. And then there was another time he just flat out said, click on the ads if you want to see. Like, no, you can't do that. That's like the #1 wrong thing to do.
ever wanted to do. Never wanted to hurt anyone, never wanted to do drama, never wanted to change. Just let me be. Leave me alone. No. How dare this man actually be successful and survive doing that content? Unacceptable. We must attack. We must deride. We must, do everything we can to be toxic and hurt him, and that we can benefit from it. Ridiculous.
Blaqksheep, you know you're down in the AFK chat, right?
Yeah, I do. I know I'm down there.
Okay, I'm gonna drag you back down, okay?
That's fine. Yep.
Wait. No, where is it? Oh, there it is. All right, let's
What are you doing? You're crashing out.
All right, well, I'll be right back in a second. And yeah, I'm mixed on watching this, but people want to see it. Be right back.
I'm the pants pisser.
Comic Book Chat donated $5 through Super Chat. Thoughts on DoorDash allowing payment plans like this to take account of financial knowledge and if you can't afford something, don't buy it.
yo. Thank you for the cheers. Like-minded, yo. Thank you for the 15 biddies. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't want to be like half asleep and not chatting with everybody in there, but it's just like I'm like half watching like, and a hat's off. You want a hood, a hat, or something? I got some. Yeah, I got some. I'm gonna grab a drink while I'm at it though. Since
it's from
I got a hat, I can I'll put on.
Turf.
Holy shit, I'm dying.
First.
All right, be right back. Give me a sec.
All right, so color me skeptical of this entire thing.
I'm the pants pisser.
Brendan Sutton donated $4.99 through Super Chat. Listen, Dad, birds. Got some herb that's quite good and waiting on some DoorDash. Life is good. Very pegged and very relaxed like your booty. Peace, Dove, Dad.
Thank you, sir. Enjoy your stoneness. Yeah, I went to the bathroom, piss. Got my dinner, which is a salad, which is dry-ass chicken, but it is what it is. It's fine. It's actually pretty good.
I'm not crashing out. You're just making a lie up to make yourself look stronger. Here's a mistake that you made. You creating a lie sabotages.
And
Look right there.
Why are you getting loud in my face?
Because I'm Dude, are you serious? Calm down. That's your right.
Still don't believe it.
I'm the pants pisser.
General Cheapfoot donated $4.99 through Super Chat. Rich,
No,
did you hear
I
about
didn't,
Eric
dude.
Conover arrest? Has a YouTuber with 3 million subs but just recently almost killed a police officer in NH.
How? Like attempted murder, drunk driving? What happened? Thank you, Brendan, in general. Look here. Thank you, Hugo. Look here. Look, listen.
Breaking banquet.
You're goddamn right.
Chat's right. Wings has to do a punishment.
For what?
What do you mean for what?
Well, what you implied. Because now look, even
if you punish me, they're going to believe what I said over what you guys are saying.
Yeah, the team needs sustenance in the form of comedy from what you do.
We don't script anything on the show. We do improv.
They might all
just like the other day when you could see like the tow hook Ori on the back of the car.
Yes, that was staged, but the Becky stuff wasn't, and that's what they all think now.
That's not even staged. That's just like, all right, we have this car. What can we do with the car?
Well, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, that what I'm saying is they think the Becky situation is the same as the car situation.
He is full on retarded.
How am I full on retarded?
It's like, remember at the meeting, right? When we had the meeting, and he goes, if anyone doesn't get this,
So
they
half
don't know
of
common
like
sense.
half
Being true
thing
OGs
is-
in you.
it is so
Much love and respect can't be taken away. Becky won't ever understand the respect.
Wings sucks.
It's not even about Wings sucks. The whole fact that y'all wanted to script it sucks. Why didn't you just be real?
It was just better to act like her walking in the room was a surprise, right? Which her coming technically was a surprise, right?
The joke was from Super Chat at $26.09.
You just gotta out.
Thoughts on DoorDash
There you go.
allowing payments? I could see.
Put a mask on. Now you get a mask.
Now.
All right.
What payment plans for
you get
food
the
on
gangster
DoorDash?
mask.
Fuck off.
All right. Let the hats off to you.
Is that real? Oh my! You know who's going to be in on that? Phil.
Wings your bald boogie you slept with your dad.
What's the point of outing everything? Okay, well, we changed one little detail just to make it a little bit more entertaining. And then you out everything just to make everything look fake. Like,
Welcome, everybody.
I don't
I'm back. I fell asleep. I don't care.
So Wings called out.
I was high as fuck.
With Becky.
Hot and high. I fell asleep. Don't give a fuck.
Good.
I figured all our bickering put you to sleep.
Single detail
People
that
talking
was
over people.
changed.
Yeah, well, you know what?
That she was
It's
here
okay.
because she said she was coming, and we still didn't know she was coming.
in my own little world,
She did come.
editing my video. If you haven't seen what I'm doing, you should go
here?
check it out.
2 hours
by the
before
way.
the stream started, right?
It was like an hour.
Definitely go check out what I'm doing. If that's the good. I'm just basically.
How did Lord Rush know to pick her up at the airport?
You don't understand.
For all my bitching of people talking over people, I'm guilty of doing it quite often, even without realizing it. So I realize I'm kind of a hypocritical fuck.
Don't worry, it's make believe. That's the point.
I mean, listen. To notice it is better than to let it just continue to like.
Real thing happens,
do
right?
its thing.
And then we take that real
as long
thing
as you
and just
see
make
that,
it a little
like,
bit more
you're,
entertaining, right? For a
If
surprise
there's
factor.
give and take, the best way of saying it is give and take. You know what I mean?
This is why you are useless.
That's how I always think of it.
Keemstar called a grift. He called
I try not to do it. It's rude, and sometimes it genuinely comes down to me cutting out on my fucking phone and hearing basically an opening, and if there's a lot of back and forth, sometimes an opening is all you're gonna get.
And if there is something,
I get
I don't
that.
blame Wings for being pissed.
Too, like that's why I'm never like.
She faked being sexually assaulted.
And some of it
to get
is
back at somebody.
genuinely me
Said she was too ashamed to
getting
talk about
frustrated.
it with the cops. But
If
the
I've tried to
whole
say
stream
something,
about
and
Boogie fake cancer.
I'll basically just linebacker that
gotta be a
fucking
limit somewhere.
Back to Blaqksheep.
And the thing with Richie is real in terms of her faking SA allegations. They kicked him out of the store.
Back to Blaqksheep.
a grift with drama alert.
Yeah,
Drama's
my
the
Twitch
easiest
cut
shit to
out.
do in the whole fucking world. I said this on PKA. You can go back and find film when drama fire them off because drama takes off because people want to see people fight in the fucking street. If you point a camera at it, people will look at it. Views and all that doesn't matter. If that's the case,
I just realized I almost called up today for work.
I want to put this out. I'll probably forget it. Let's look at it this way. I told Keith on day one we should pre-record everything and
I
put
do
it
it
into
too
the
much.
episodes.
I do it too much.
Might do it today. He's like, that's me.
Once in a while, I just have a
Hold on, everybody. I have to reset my fucking.
I think Soul's a weenie whistle.
I have to reset my stream, everybody. Hold on.
I did.
The Oscar Mayer company used to promo stuff around here.
What are you doing?
Over here. I got a weenie whistle.
The hot dog
company? Yeah, look. It's an Oscar Mayer weenie whistle.
What am I
I actually almost joined.
You're very agitated. Wait a minute. While I'm silent,
I almost joined
the success proves.
What do you call it? There's a crew that paid I think $50K a year that you can drive the actual meal and fucking make money.
I've been inside.
He made himself a house.
You cannot get Oscar Mayer products and not chuckle a little bit. When I was in high school, there was a chick that was a little homely and very much less than popular that had to go to the emergency room because she got a frozen hot dog stuck really
Yeah, hot dog down the hallway.
I've heard that happen.
Because it was still frozen and stuff to the skin, so she had to go to the emergency room. And for the rest of it probably would. I imagine that it would have been completely alright if she'd have just gotten a bathtub of warm water. But kids be kids, and you don't always think of shit like that when you're panicking it, you know. So she went to the emergency room, and then for the rest of the year, everybody called her Oscar.
Deal with this bullshit, fake or not.
Oh,
thank you.
You know, we did better stuff inside anyway. That place was a mansion.
Hey, by the way, the Prince of Persia game is free to download on the PlayStation. The one that came out last year is pretty fucking good. No, it's the PS Plus that comes out with like, yeah, the non-essential one.
There's time.
You can check. It might not be non-essential. It might be the one that after.
The essentials always come out.
You just want to be hell tonight. If you do.
They come out the first Tuesday of the month.
I do like your cat. It is cute.
Yeah, he wants to be held tonight. I don't know why.
Done this where I
look at him. He's just here just chilling. Look at him.
He might be in need for a reason.
I do want to play Valgar's graphics.
Right, he's on.
It looks good.
What game?
Dragon Age Valgar.
I'm gonna play that game and download it. Oh, hey, Bobo, were you serious about doing the Fallout thing? I downloaded it.
You're faster than a football player.
It does look
game I kind of want to play.
Lying is a sin king.
Yeah, I have to put in my I have to add storage.
$19.99. Wings stop crashing out.
Okay.
You are crashing out.
Out of Fallout
100% are. 100%.
Yeah, because we can do up to 24.
You made a mistake, obviously, right?
So
what game?
Fallout 76. We were talking about it the other day.
Yeah.
The mistake was he let everyone know that Becky.
I think one day next week I'm going to hold that emulation event in here.
If that wasn't staged, good on him for that.
Wasn't Coco supposed to have a movie today?
I'm tired of that fat, disgusting hog.
Speaking of movie,
what she's done.
Do you guys only do movies if we own them, or do you guys do movies based on like?
No, we hired them.
All right, this is what I said.
I was gonna say, can we do a movie night with Vampire Hunter D and celebrate the 40th
allegedly is going to be here in a couple hours. I don't know if it's true or not. If she's here, nobody put hands on her, whatever. We're going to do a stream in the movie theater.
So I was told that we can watch
do
any
like an hour
movie
or whatever, and then have her come in, right?
Not be rated
And you
NC-17.
said, well, if anyone doesn't understand that, then they'd be stupid. And I said, obviously, don't leak it. I go, if anyone leaks that she's here and ruins my ending,
so anything past R is
back into that. You're fired, and you go. If anyone does,
they don't have common sense. Vampire Hunter D does show some movies.
Yeah, that's fine. Even like sex scenes is fine as long as it's not like full blown like hentai.
For 2 weeks with already established.
I mean, it's not full blown or anything. It's just...
Hey, Kat, you opened up Copilot.
That's exactly.
Get off the keyboard. Get off the keyboard.
He wants to be the co-pilot.
And he hit my soundboard too. I heard fucking pronouns, nice fucking
I'm the fourth person that exposed it at this point. Number 4.
The stuff that they said, I didn't hear Tina say that last night.
Yes, you go back and look. Why do you think they've been saying?
He laid his ass on
fucking phone.
Dude, I thought of a creative way on how to bring her in, but everything else, all real. You expose my scripted entrance of Becky, and now
that was that cat
you don't see how that doesn't hurt our brand?
You don't see how lying hurts the brand too? Because you could.
Oh my god! Oh my god! You're just not. You're not. If you're not going to accept any responsibility for that, that's insane.
As long as
I'm not accepting the responsibility. I'm the fourth person in line to say it on stream.
Well, like Robo said, we just. I mean, I'm level 50, but I just keep it at that rank just because
showmanship.
I keep all the shit that I like.
Bring her in.
I don't like changing my stuff.
Hey, what are you doing?
Showmanship for a person.
Hey, don't.
Oh, we could just play a casual match. We don't have to play like rank match or anything.
Your cat has decided that mischief must be made.
Like, we don't have to be in first place.
I don't have money for Game Pass right now.
There's got to be a limit.
And plus, I kind of play Call of Duty so much. I'm at like 9th Prestige right now.
I think Game Pass should offer.
What are you gonna do? Start the camera? Oh, I guess you guys are wondering why Becky's here. Well, you know,
sometimes there's a little bit of show.
I would probably do that.
Sometimes we
I just don't. I don't have
correct.
it because there's just
Sometimes
not
we
enough
tweak it a little bit,
to.
but it's always based in reality.
I was right.
Like there's nothing that's like drawing me to it. Like I don't play COD. And you go to City Keys and they get like 7-day ones and stuff, but my thing is that like I don't play COD and I have like a lot of games. I have a backlog already. And I would never like get a game where like being able to play like their Bethesda catalog and stuff doesn't really entice me.
Well, she did the
I like to play like, because you can't do
behind the scenes.
Right. Like I'm literally, I lost my save for London. I wasn't very far in it because I accidentally left. I forgot to disable the cloud because I play regular Fallout 4 on my Steam Deck. So the cloud had updated, so it's fine because it's been like 8 months. So I'm recreating my character. I don't remember much anyway. But like I can, yeah. So it's like stuff like this, like
we met her halfway.
You know, this is a mod.
If you think that we're gonna step away from this, and you think like, oh yeah,
I have to name my character.
It's gonna be like, oh, look, you made a mistake, or.
Wait, they paid for her to go out. Come on.
There could be a DLC for
Come on. Nah, I get one.
Oh, I'm definitely.
Anyone here? No. I mean, you can agree with them all day. We're not going to think you're right.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You're not.
That's another game I played. It really wasn't that bad.
I'm looking at it, you're just making
really
a lie up to make yourself look stronger.
And the cutscenes where
I don't know what that means. I was just trying to.
AJ Luckman
and like
$20.
I think the only other complaint I heard is that the one character is kind of a bully.
We're coming to
ban that user.
I mean, obviously you've never met Morgana.
Here's the issue, like people who are fans of Dragon Age, the artwork, like they really toned it down, cartoony. And story-wise, like it's not as compelling, it's more linear, there's not as many choices. And the other thing was like, they found that the characters just weren't likable. They just didn't like the character. And the writing was bad.
The Dragon Age 2 version of the Canary was the best version of it, with the forehead ridges, the horns, the horns actually ripping through the skin, and now it just like they look like a human with ranch horns.
It's and the writing was like it was very slow. It was very like I'm not talking about like the overall story, which people found meh, but it was like actually like the conversations were really not good.
Tell me I'm right.
You know, I think like people who don't play Dragon Age probably don't pick up as much on stuff as like the fans of Dragon Age really did.
Somebody on Discord said reality TV doesn't but they call it reality TV. But the one isn't.
Nah, but at this point, man, people know it's some WWE shit
But
on there.
I mean, there is something to be said for
And if
like they push
people, especially in the States, let's keep it real.
Things in a game that like they didn't need to. You could have things in the game and make them optional to go down, which I think like
I don't need
Baldur's
to know
Gate.
what genitals my character they're gonna do that.
Like it's like Baldur's Gate left everything optional, you know, and this game it didn't.
So you're aware? What you just
And I think
did,
that's where
exactly
people,
what Becky does,
like, they
but
got
also
put off
look,
by
the
it,
numbers up
you know?
2,000.
And I can understand
Yeah,
that,
because
like,
they like controversy. Because donations are up. Because all the big controversy.
I think probably a chunk of it was blown out of proportion, but there were other issues with the game that had nothing to do with that.
Wayne's the type to go to a magic show and be like, that's how they do it.
I don't care for Baldur's Gate 3, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll give the prestige away.
Get a scale. I want to weigh in.
I want to try that game.
It's on the
I want to give Baldur's Gate 3 a chance, but it's such a big
Is he
game.
drinking a beer? Like, yeah, this is
big
this
undertaking.
energy drinks.
Kind of like
yeah,
when
great
I took
fat
on
cat.
Content Extra, I knew that would be several months of my time, but I had tons of fun with it. Until
You know,
the end, once it was
I'm going to I believe myself this morning I was 404.
it seemed like
we leave these two alone? I don't know if our driving's
the
good.
lack of options and the actual, like, the lines that the characters saying, and people found that the characters just weren't likable.
What in
But
Vanguard?
if you haven't played other Dragon Age games, you might not pick up as much on that.
Well, here's how I judged it. I've played all the Dragon Ages.
Okay, it's
The first Dragon Age was the closest to a traditional RPG. It was, in a way, sort of a spiritual successor to, older RPGs like Neverwinter Nights and shit like that. With Dragon Age 2, that was made after the EA buyout. Dragon Age was published by EA, but it was predominantly made before the buyout, so there was less of EA's influence on the game.
Like, I don't have a problem with RPG games. I like it a little more. I lean a little more to action RPG. I tried playing Dragon Age before, not Veilguard, and the game just a little too slow for me, for like the pacing. So it just wasn't my cup of tea. It doesn't mean that was bad. It just wasn't, my type of game. And I'm not really into fantasy, to be honest. Like, fantasy is
subs there. You know what I mean?
I never played it on the Xbox or the PlayStation.
Like, I lost a bunch of money in January.
Predominantly
like, I lost
on
a
PC,
decent amount of money in February because of the stupid fucking shit.
I was a big fan of Dragon Age 2. I thought that it was a lot more restrictive because you were playing the role of
I was right. Sorry.
A guy that had a family that you were stuck being human. You were stuck with one of three classes. And I thought that was fine because that's a lot of RPGs do that shit. But it was more restrictive than Origins and Inquisition was.
The internet and everything
But
else.
it had a good
me
vibe. A lot of people trashed it for not having varied environments.
Oh, really?
You're basically stuck in the city of Kirkwall and its immediate surroundings. But it kind of works with the story. The main character and his family were refugees from the Blight.
Yes, you
they
should.
moved to Kirkwall.
Or you have the money
Yeah,
to send someone
my
to
cat
check
kind
it.
of like yours.
They were Ferelden refugees, or refugees.
Yes, to everything you just said.
Yeah, say that they quite a bit. Yeah, you could say they probably had quite a bit of post-traumatic stress. So, not wanting to roam too far from the home front kind of fit with the character that you were playing. And it led directly into Inquisition. Like the decisions that you made in that game. Didn't really transfer over that well because you weren't loading the game like Mass Effect 2 to Mass Effect 3. You had to go through an editor and basically manually input all your choices. But once you got Inquisition,
I'm too normal and stable.
If you input all your choices in that in that loader, you start running into characters from previous games. You start
I promise you will.
You start building lore and shit like that, and then with Veilguard, it's a massive step back because there's very little input that you can make on the footprint of the previous games. You can alter, essentially only the Inquisitor and what their connection was to Solus, and that's it.
We're getting back to 220.
And so it feels like it's a massive downgrade from Inquisition in a lot of ways. But the gameplay and pacing are very tight. The companions do fairly well in combat as far as their AI goes. It's not the best story. The companions are a little bland, but like Mass Effect Andromeda, if you overlook the flaws in the story, there's a lot of enjoyment in the gameplay mechanics themselves.
Wow, he's large.
Yeah, I agree with that. Andromeda was definitely my least favorite Mass Effect game, but it's not like I outright hated it.
Mass Effect Andromeda, the story was terrible. I will freely admit it, and this is as a Mass Effect Andromeda fan. But the ability to change your character class on the fly, coming from somebody that, in order to get Max, Persuade, and Intimidate without investing a single point in it, I literally played through Mass Effect six fucking times.
Rest in peace, Jerry Springer.
Yeah, because you get a point when you become a Spectre and Persuade and Intimidate, and you can get up to 3 more if you go full Renegade or full Paragon, and there's a glitch to where you can go full Paragon and Renegade in a single playthrough. But I played through that game 6 fucking times to build up a character, and then I was stuck with a single class. So when Mass Effect Andromeda came out, and they allow you to use your artificial intelligence to basically change classes on the fly, I thought that was a really cool gameplay mechanic. I liked the jump jets. I thought that was an immense improvement over the gameplay of Mass Effect 2 and 3. And if they implement those, those mechanics into Mass Effect 4 and have and build a good story on top of it, I think it would be amazing. But I
can you trust BioWare to do it?
Exactly. And the thing is, they used the DICE engine for Mass Effect Andromeda because EA basically made them do it. And if they don't use the same engine for the next Mass Effect game, you're probably not going to have the jump jets and shit like that.
So, tensions are a little high on the second. And, as you can see...
it fit the gameplay of the... the gameplay fit the narrative structure of the game. Instead of being a soldier or a biotic or whatever, in the military, your character is essentially an explorer. And so there's a lot more emphasis on exploration than combat. In Andromeda.
Wait, are there 4 classes of that?
Oh, shit.
loud
Yeah,
in my
there's
face. I
Mass
got in his
Effect
face. I'm
1,
like, are
2,
you
and 3,
serious?
and
And
then
then he
there's
started pushing me. I'm like, dude,
They're
I'm
making a
swinging.
Mass
You keep
Effect
doing that.
4,
And he
which
went
is
to
a
go
true
grab me like
sequel
this.
to
Like, that's what
the Mass Effect trilogy.
I
They're
kept saying,
going to
I'm gonna
reference
hit you.
Andromeda in
I'm
it,
gonna
but
hit you. I'm
it's
gonna
going to
hit
be
you.
a complete
And then he wouldn't
departure
fucking, and
from
then somehow it got broken
Andromeda
up,
and
whatever.
the prequel, because it's going to take place like 500
He goes,
years
oh no,
later.
bitch made. You think I'm...
That means no Shepard.
No, yeah, that not necessarily, because if you go with the sacrifice ending, Shepard becomes an AI.
That's a great point, dude. Because put a lot of those systems into Mass Effect, it's going to be a great one.
Yeah, and you know, if you go with the sacrifice in the trilogy, Shepard becomes an AI.
Kind of like Edie.
You know what I think happened?
Yeah, sort of like it, but he becomes an AI that takes over the Reapers.
I was doing a play in college, and I was just frustrated.
The Asari characters are probably still going to be alive.
Going to school all day, and I was
Liara definitely, because she was only 100 in the first game, and yeah, that would make her, you know, barely a matriarch by the time the next Mass Effect game comes out. Yeah, what was the Asari from Samara? Samara might not be in the game. Yeah, she might have passed in that.
Was that
up there? Like, I was just
yeah, she was like 500 years old or something like that. So yeah, if she does make an appearance, she's going to be always stuck in Methuselah's jockstrap.
And I was like, I didn't even realize what I did, because it was just, it doesn't matter
but,
what was in my way.
There are other characters that will probably be like for instance, there's one of the Krogan in Mass Effect Andromeda, the one that you team up with. He's like 1900 years old.
That was it, and I apologize for it.
Krogan can again.
Now I don't know.
So we might see Rex.
I don't know.
Might see Rex. Definitely will see Rex.
Doesn't look like someone who would be abusive.
I mean, yeah, he's a genetically perfect Krogan, so be it the Krogan lifespan.
That's if he managed to not get himself assassinated.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. Yeah, unless they're killed off, they'll be in the game. Yeah, but Krogan can live about twice as long.
I would.
So
Callie would be in the game.
What was that? I couldn't hear anything.
I wish Callie would be in the game.
For a second there, it sounded like you were deep throating a fucking 90s printer.
They have footage now. That police station.
I'm sorry. No, I don't know how long Quarian's lifespans are though.
They're about the same as humans.
So my point being is, what I think happened is he was just so amped up.
It
could have been anybody else.
Callie was my favorite.
You can pretty much guarantee that most of the characters are going to be dead. Edie might be around. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Garrus will be dead.
Garrus will be dead for sure.
She was pretty young as far as
Liara.
Well, Liara was only like 100 years old in the first game, which is basically, a teenager. So they live to be 1,000 years old. But yeah.
Script sucks.
Yeah,
right.
Brian,
Yeah, faster than a football player, way funnier.
Rex was around in the Krogan rebellions, but he's about 1,000 years old. But he could still be alive, given that the species can live to be about 1,900 to 2,000 years old.
Yeah.
We need to be washed.
In the future?
That was
yeah, it's going to take place 500 years after Mass Effect 3.
Why I brought up
No, I'm sorry. It's going to take place.
Oh my God, they're never going to
700 years, because they're going to reference Andromeda, and Andromeda takes place about 600 years after. Mass Effect 2. The arcs left between Mass Effect 2 and 3.
I was like, here.
But still, I mean, the 3 characters that I mentioned could still be alive.
That's how it was.
Even if, give or take 100 years.
That was a hard shove that Wings did.
Shepard.
But an interesting thing to think about is
I do think it was an in-the-moment thing, but man,
if Shepard isn't AI, if they go with the sacrifice ending as the
Wings, that shit's scripted. Yelling from the mountaintops
the Mass Effect trilogy,
I don't think it's gonna help.
There's nothing to stop Shepard from making detailed AIs of each of the characters. I mean, if say Shepard got his hands on brain scans, there is an opening for more characters to appear.
Tie-breaking banquet.
Like the elusive one. You know that, right?
I'm not laughing at the situation.
I say you're starting
to get rid of this plate real quick. This
sound like the elusive one.
Shepard
I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Shepard with the sacrifice ending basically reports the child that the conduit
on
is,
this episode
they think it's a weapon. They build an interface device, which they think is the conduit. But when Shepard gets
this
to
wasn't scripted,
the top of the Citadel, he meets the actual conduit who presents himself as a child, and essentially it's an AI that tasks, that controls that controls the Reapers.
Get rid of this before I get
any better?
My fucking tutu.
A little bit.
So
Shepard replaces the conduit as the new conduit and the sacrifice ending, and that's a good way for EA to keep Shepard around 700 years after the original trilogy. It's also a good way for other characters to be preserved, being as the Reapers probably have scans of the other characters during the various encounters with Reapers over the course of the trilogy.
I don't know what the fuck idiots are talking about with memes. No, it's like just like memes. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't follow your dumb fucking memes. So take your meme, shove it up.
I don't know. Some of that's wishful thinking.
I have the ability to make an observation that's factually fucking based.
I wouldn't put it past EA to go with the sacrifice being the canonical ending, just because it gives them more freedom to craft the narrative.
I'm not taking your shit.
Welcome.
I don't care who the fuck it is. There's people in the chat right now. Oh, he's doing a meme. Oh, this is cringe. Shut the fuck up and eat it.
Let him finish.
Give me your mailing address. I want to mail you a spoon so you can eat shit out of my fucking ass.
I'm not used to giant enemies being able to throw projectiles at me.
I can't say a factual observation. It's a fucking fact. The characters in that game, it's a fucking I have.
Hey, Sheep.
What up? On a daily fucking basis.
You gonna be on at some point, like this coming weekend?
On Monster Hunter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be back on it. Yeah,
Because I need some help
I was taking
through some of the
day
story.
off. Yeah, I was just taking the day off from it. Yeah. But I can help you out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now I'm level 40.
Because dude, that Ray Dow fight, you guys got kicked out.
Yeah.
I can't do it. My turn. I'm trying to do his voice.
Were you ever able to like finish it up? No. That Ray Dow fight's fucking intense, isn't it? Am I right? Am I right?
Kid. So, oof wings. I hope it comes out that
Take her
that
with
is all scripted. Goddamn.
All right. Yeah, because like after you guys left during that Ray Dow mission, I was like, oh god, I almost died a few times from those lightning blasts. Because like he has this arcing, like where he swoops down like the arc of his wing and he slices through.
Yeah, he does.
And he has the one where he like
fast one.
Yeah, but then he's got the one, the smaller version of his big lightning attack, but he has those two little small ones that he can go zap, zap, and if you don't dodge those, and then you get hit by the big one, you're done. He's really fun, but he's also not an easy fight for me anyway.
Yeah,
so,
not easy. Definitely not easy.
It was fun though.
This fucking Saturday.
Like, and then you get to the crystal fields.
Yeah, that shit's real though.
Like, whenever Phil corresponded with me with emails and shit.
Dude, when I got to the crystal fields when I chased right out to it, I almost shit my pants.
Yeah, it sort of makes it like a little more epic. You know?
Not only that, but you're like, oh great, electricity conducting crystals. How could this go any worse?
And then it attaches to him. Then it attaches to him and it becomes a little stronger, like defense-wise, and it's just like, bro, like really? And Ray Dow is like, I feel like Ray Dow is a very underrated fucking boss, very underrated boss.
You're gonna ruin Gundam. He's been calling you out, and then you're like,
dude, that Ray Dow fight,
it's so good.
I haven't even asked.
It's like the first fight that I've had in the Monster Hunter series, because I really couldn't get into Iceborne or Worlds, but playing this one, it felt more like old school Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Where you just got in there and threw down.
Yeah, but because you had to, or you're going to die. Like,
now he understands
that
my
fucking monster is literally one of the hardest monsters, I feel like.
Yeah, Andy, no shit.
But that was the first battle that made me feel like, wow, this is gonna be, epic.
Like,
if this is chapter 2 and we're not even done yet.
Yeah, I just can't wait until the actual game.
I was gonna sit there through all his long-winded DMs,
fucking crazy bullshit that you have to go through in certain bosses. That
shit,
right now though, it's like the point where it's just like, okay, you gotta be able to be killing things correctly.
Puts on his Nazi cap. He scares the shit out of Blabs. Have that clip. He might be Jewish. I don't know.
Yeah, I gotta add some more monsters.
The internet turns on him. He starts going on. Craig loves it. He kicking. Not yeah. He's a fucking clown. Yucko. And I'm like,
you know what fight I'm looking forward to the most though?
He just asked me to send a question. I didn't even want to do it.
No, this shit's
Rathalos. I cannot wait for that fight.
I know you sped it up.
Rathalos annoying.
For brevity's sake, it's too much.
No, you like it for its.
Let me see now.
So I just want to put.
Did you just choke on the bong, bro?
Yeah,
that's better.
Okay,
that's a blood.
Sorry, that's your first mistake. Your vacation doesn't matter. Only
a blood chillum.
Later on,
Phil's sacred day off.
This really good opportunity to cross over with locale.
So yeah,
what's your favorite fight in this game?
Ray Dow.
So that was my mistake.
Like later on,
him on his day off.
All right, besides Ray Dow.
Arkveld.
I'm on vacation, right? I'm trying.
And that's because it's hard. It's a hard fight.
I remember seeing
very difficult fight. That's why they're technically very difficult. Technical wise. You know?
You were talking to on Discord. I'm like,
the mechanics of them really make a difference in the way the game is played. Where you fight.
Grave mistake. I didn't go to back yet.
I'll tell you what, though.
Devastated.
That Congolo fight, that let me know this game has a sense of humor, at least.
Of devastation.
Oh, yeah. Well, no shit. You got something that's farting on you, you know what I mean? Like, come on.
When I went through that cutscene during the story,
imagine what PPP sounds like when he's busting.
I was like,
Carlos.
no. As soon as I saw cheeks, though, I was like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing.
And she's getting farted on. That's my thought. That was my first thought. And she's getting farted
on a tropical island.
Oh, beautiful island.
And he goes, man, I hope you have a
Dude,
great vacation.
I saw a short
but
today.
I just got some terrible news. That's related directly to what
green,
we were
basically
talking about
green
regarding
screen
travel.
Gemma instead of the Congolo doing that.
I go, what happened with travel, Phil?
It's always a tragedy with Phil. You're doing a May 1st anniversary.
Yeah, so check it.
The Smithy.
How dare you do it?
So, like, yeah, right?
It's
yeah,
always
parts in the Smithy, right?
Gundam said it in a video trying to remember.
But, yeah, it's like...
It's always like one, whatever. It's always one tragedy.
I like the game. I wish there was more open worldness to it.
This info, which I never...
2020.
It's 220.
It's 220?
220, not 2020. 220 is the number that they keep calling out.
Is on her last legs health-wise, with doctors giving her
hasn't he been saying this for years? Well, please don't share this info. Yesterday I spoke with my parents, and my mom is on her last legs health-wise. With doctors giving her less than a year to live, she basically begged me to... Well, hold on, what am I doing?
Less than a year to live. She basically begged me to find time to travel back to Connecticut by the end of the year, so we could spend...
Yeah, I slowed this down. It still sounds sped up. There's no way. I would have lost my mind.
...time together one last time.
Yeah, he nuts. He goes, whoa, I can't do it.
But that stupid fucking real ID shit I told you about goes into effect May 7th. I looked into it, and all of our licensing departments are on a massive backlog because everyone is rushing to get this before that date. I'm going to call them tomorrow because they will finally be open after the weekend. What the But chances are, my wife and I are now going to take a completely unplanned / unscheduled trip to Connecticut, likely in late April. That also means finding a way to have our pets taken care of, so we'll likely have to pay top dollar for a highly rated pet sitter because we have 4 and they all need daily care. So all of this just dumped on us yesterday, and it looks like our next couple months are going to be incredibly stressful, and that's even if my mom's health holds out. So yeah, this fucking sucks.
You were trolled.
And he was probably lying about all of this too.
Yeah, he's probably lying at all.
Well, that was disappointing.
But my mom...
What's disappointing?
Could you take time
Well,
out of your day
I tried to, so if I go back to Fault London, but I can't get any audio.
He always wants people to feel sorry for him. That's his defense against everything. That's pathetic.
Can't get a real ID because you don't have a passport.
That doesn't make sense.
I said,
You just get a real ID and go to the DMV.
I honestly have no idea. This guy is so incompetent. He doesn't even know how to get a passport.
Yeah, you gotta go to
get a real ID. And this is very obvious. Like,
No, it's not.
Audio's
You go to the post office, you fill out some papers, a Latin woman looks like she wants to spit in your face, they take an ugly photo of you, you're done.
But he takes his
All right, that's even then. Like Gundam sounded at a 0.9. He sounded Jesus.
problems, and then he makes them my problem.
They are your problem.
To where it's like, are you asking me how to walk me through the process on how to get a real ID or passport? Like I can't file the paperwork.
Okay, so it wasn't that.
And it's like this.
And again, that goes into his thing of I'm starting to lean more into the theory that I had, where he has streams where he does all his technical stuff on streams and wants his audience to hold his hands.
Right, never mind.
It's not that he's just so pathetic that he's like.
For some reason, you know what, Alex. Okay, I'm like too loud, so.
feel really inferiority.
Maybe he farted in your computer.
If I do it myself, then
No, it was just
fair enough. I really think that's what it is.
I never mute my audio,
Like,
so
like it's been the past year and a half that made me realize like it's really like you always.
I thought he wasn't allowed to touch your computer.
That probably stemmed from his parents. Let's keep it real. Like he's really fucked up. It's not just that he has a big ego or lacks self-awareness. Those are very
and this
obvious
is
points,
why
but it's
you
deeper than
don't
that.
let people play with your
220
computer.
it was a valid code for him.
Talk about an unplanned, unscheduled trip. Like this trip is supposed to be
Yeah,
late
so
and this is in
Chief, if you're on
Like,
coming up
most
this
people
weekend,
would
I'd
consider
like
2
to do
months
that
notice
raid
to be
out
enough to plan
hunt a
trip.
couple more
Yeah,
times
do you know
just
what
to
I'm
get the
saying?
full set of
There are
armor.
people who take trips.
Hey, you like the armor, huh?
Easy
Yeah,
Chief,
Master.
everyone donate
Yeah.
$4
I'm telling you, if you
for
read
99
out,
cents
if you
through
read
Super
it,
Chat.
man,
Plus the fact
if you
that he
read
used
it
the
and all
sentence,
the
"It was all my
stats and
master
shit,
plan." Just the word
it's the
master
best
plan
armor
shows
in
how
the
childish
game.
his brain is and how
Really.
simple he thinks.
Yeah, like even the
Quite literally.
666 shit, dude.
You muted my computer.
This is the 666 podcast. I'm like, are you fucking 12? Yeah, he has deep-rooted issues, man. And it probably, like I said, and again, Rich, why do you keep on bringing up his upbringing? That's like, he's like the bad slip of that too. Now, who knows if he's telling the truth of that? But just something tells me that was kind of like the mass slip, and it was, where he would be like, I think one of his parents cheated on the other one, and they kind of used him as collateral, saying that this, like, he was, like, kind of pinning it on him. When you're in your formative years, that'll fuck you up. You know what I mean?
I think
again, narcissists aren't born bred. If you combine everything together,
I'm still fucking high from yesterday.
Yeah, this
man,
is
not gonna lie, man. I'm litty titty all day, and I finally think I hit a little bit earlier. A fucking indica, fucking like a little lump of indica.
Is what he's been bred to be.
I fucking made my ass pass
from his
out a minute ago.
More than I'm not trying to look, and I'm not trying to give him a pass and say blame it all on the parents. He's a grown ass man.
Yeah, now I'm getting on it
And
now.
I roast the shit at him, and he deserves to be fucking roasted. He also refuses to do anything to go get help. Like
I had
someone
like,
said, you ever thought, like, not joking.
Oh my gosh, I remember the first time
or psychologist. He's like, no,
that I
I'm too
did
busy.
a
He ain't
dab.
ever going to help himself.
I
So,
greened
I
out
give him no
so
leniency
hard.
with this. Don't get it twisted.
Like,
Forcer Zero, thank you.
and this was just the resin.
Figure out how they could do text to speech for these too. The
And
funniest part of
I was like
claiming it was a master
spinning,
was that
and
he
I'm
had
like,
absolutely
oh my
nothing on
goodness.
Keto Casino, the only one ending up being felt in this film.
Yeah, I was gonna say, James wanted.
Yeah, there's some times where I get like a salad from the place I get of their premium shit,
and like just the
so I just
fact
get like
alone.
random
And
like
again,
pockets of
put
indica.
Zapper, so
I'll make
definitely
be like,
forget.
honk.
Like, why would you pour your heart out to other live streamers
That shit's mad funny
from anywhere?
I don't even care, honestly.
Dude,
like,
you don't know
I'm a
these
human
dudes.
being.
They're not
Sometimes
like,
I
he's
take
just
like a
lonely,
fucking
desperate
siesta.
guy who's just looking for any kind of companionship. It's really sad.
I've had sleep streams before. I'm not afraid.
From time to time with Bill.
My hands don't go into my pants like some people's do.
Because this is after
Looking
Gundam's
weird.
Avatar or whatever the fuck you call it. It looks like it's fucking high on shrooms.
He's talking about the May
He's
1st
just like-
incident.
Yeah, that would be the next ups incident.
Stephen Cambion Truth Seekers interview.
Yeah,
and so
give me a-
because of that, he wanted me to feel bad for him, not press him anymore, not grill him on Grill Phil, and so he would dump this shit on my fucking. It's just fucking wild.
I'm here. Yes, do Mama, I'll restart right now for you. For you, do Mama, I'm restarting.
Wait, Ashton, you were trolled here. Look how mean Ashton is. Fuck Phil. That's horrible news. I would never tell anybody.
Can you imagine with his camera setup now? Just...
I'm not gonna lie, I would have ignored all of them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really should have. I really should have.
There wouldn't be a setup.
No, this was part of it, man. You knew
You
were
just
like,
get a
oh,
full
shit.
angle view.
When he finally crashes out, which was inevitable.
I can imagine
you get to use this for content.
Just jerking it.
Here we are.
You basically adopted a cat that was riddled with gout.
Watch, his penis is like size of his phone. It's like, it's the camera angle, I promise.
Good enough, bud. You know, it's the cat.
I'm the giant pisser.
Comic book chat donated $5.
You got every angle you feel.
Once he gets a real job, let's stop believing.
You're watching my stream?
Yeah, he's kind of crazy.
Yeah. And Easy Peasy, I think, yeah, he has the brain, dude. Easy Peasy 91. He got the brain of the
Philip, but no, he's a man.
Part of my master plan. What, like, would you learn that from Pinky in the Brain? He really is a child.
He stroked his dong until it burned.
That's why I always say, like, he thinks that because you're
the camera was on. It was on the whole time.
I love tits. He thinks
I'm
like,
gonna be honest,
40-year-olds are
got
adults. They don't talk about
it. Was just do it. Be like, yeah, dude.
The thing is, no,
he
you
did.
can't do it,
happens.
Phil. You can't do
He
it
did.
because you can't.
You said he did.
And you know, if you let the brakes off on
Yeah, but he
your
admitted to it
jokes,
after,
you would say the stupid
like,
shit that would get you banned, like it did back in
years.
Later. I think it was like
So,
2 years later. He's like,
he's kind of like Tom Hanks and Big. I just thought that out. Oh, good job, Rich. But it's true. He's like Tom Hanks and Big. Like he got body
you know,
swap.
if he would have just
like,
admitted that,
oh yeah, this is what adults do.
Fucking happened and not been, clutching his fucking pearls the entire time, people would have moved on from
like
it
he's
pretty fucking
literally
quick.
Tom Hanks and Big.
Especially since no one's seen you
pretending that
like,
he's not Tom Hanks.
He actually dodged
that
the
makes
bullet.
sense.
He should have
Like,
made fun of himself.
he's a child in an adult's body that has to pretend that didn't happen. And that's what, and then make this person who is that a complete, severe narcissist.
Camera,
who's probably on the spectrum
was on the whole.
almost guaranteed.
You know what though? At least it was Phil.
I just like the guy. I think he's
and
a
not
piece
like
of shit.
Keemstar or something.
But
or Buggy, for God's sake.
Yeah, dude. And
I don't think Keemstar.
I don't think I can handle
custodian,
that.
Become a janitor. I guess janitor.
I don't think Keemstar is
you're not allowed to see the players.
No, he's not.
You get a decent salary depending
Besides,
on the
Keemstar's
district
got
where you
He
work
is
at.
reckless enough to hire somebody who would do something.
I mean, he's a malicious little shit, but, stupid, no.
Get his passport. If he just had his passport, he wouldn't have these problems.
Yeah, he's a businessman.
One instance in real
I don't think they without a passport.
He now claims by the day that this
But
is all
with that kind of money,
He may be a business.
that bitch is doing all kinds of shit.
lied about his mother being sick. Okay, so this is why so recently.
No, I
that
doubt
was
he's pulling
amazing.
off,
He said that to me, and I was like,
full fucking Doherty.
You realize how shitty
He's a
it
millionaire.
is that you're,
I know, but I
you're
mean,
saying
that
you
little
lied
shit, what's his name,
about
Doherty, that,
your wife's illness,
was going on about how
and
he
your
managed
parents and your
cam models and
family's
shit
having
like that.
illnesses
I
get
don't
one
see
over on
Keemstar being that much of a D-bag.
that's not.
I don't know if that
that's
was
pretty
Doherty.
shitty,
I
Bill.
think that. Well, maybe it was. Was Jack Doherty doing that stuff?
Yes.
Had two shows where he didn't bang.
Oh, I see. You took a lesson from the tapes.
Jack Doherty is 110% motherfucker.
While sucking on Hulk Hogan's Rod and Jasper's tail.
He has a very just. I could watch Mike Tyson go 12 rounds with his face.
Speaking of Mike Tyson, look, that fight with Logan Paul should have never taken place.
And he started like tearing up.
It's not for the reasons that most people would associate. Yeah, Mike Tyson, while he was training, he had
That's why he's
an ulcer start dumping blood into his stomach. Apparently, he was hit during training, and it aggravated the condition.
He
ended up in the hospital for a month, lost 26 pounds, had to undergo 6 blood transfusions. Now it's 8 blood transfusions, and on top of that, he wasn't training while he was in the hospital. So yeah, he comes back from all that, and in less than 2 months, he's got to fight. I mean, nobody's going to recover that quickly and be in the best shape possible for a fight, especially when you're talking about somebody that's in their 50s.
And that's sad. Do you think just
that fight
especially
should have never been sanctioned
at all? You don't know him at all.
Because I mean,
it's just like, oh wow,
if you watch the fight,
friend.
I watched Fuka's stream of it because I wasn't going to give any extra views, but you saw
and he will
protecting his stomach most of the fight.
So, because he refuses to
Say
accept
for
that he's an angry
for whatever
man.
reason he stops guarding his stomach, starts protecting his head, and Logan Paul hit him in the stomach and it started bleeding again. That's a huge fucking potential liability. Yeah.
Well, it was sanctioned before he had those medical issues in Texas because it had the sanctioning hadn't expired. That's how they got away with it.
Fucking weirdo.
Yeah, but I mean, if they'd have done that shit in Las Vegas or New York, the sanctions would have been fucking pulled when he went to
really
hospital.
were just trauma dumping.
Yeah, that's how they got away with it.
Friends.
Like once they had it sanctioned, you know, it's good for so much time, and the fight still happened within that time.
All this miserable stuff.
Yeah, and that's why they rushed Mike Tyson to do the fight so that they could do it before the
I think it was like 6 months, and they did it within 6 months.
But they are already postponed because Mike Tyson was in the hospital.
Yeah, but they still got out within the time period.
Yeah, but if he would have fully recovered and everything, by the time he would have been 100%, it would have expired.
Yeah.
Blaqksheep.
Well, that's why they had it in Texas.
This is like serial killer level of like.
If none of this ever happened and he's just as he claimed,
I'm working on a custom command for Rich's server that will say a random DSP quote.
Of all time.
Isn't this
and
Isn't
I'm
this
also working on one
either way
that will say random 8-bit
Mike
air
Sabatello,
quote.
thank you for being a cheap Either way, it's mental illness if it was all lies. It's mental illness if he's trauma dumping on you. And here, you know what I think? I think it's actually.
Why did that dude even show himself in his underwear with
He
this?
lied about this not because he was doing some kind of
I don't
gay
know.
op on fucking Kino
Hey, Big
Casino.
Air.
He lied about it
because he's a piece of shit. And it sounded like
Alcohol.
So I don't think the sicknesses and stuff
You're
were
a
true.
woman.
He just
And
wanted
then
some-
there's that one chick that he.
I just want to say, as a woman, that's hot. I was just like, take me now, Eric.
I think he's only interested in headset.
That's what I think it is. He always wants, just like, here's a perfect example that kind of slots in the puzzle that puts together the
like, take me now.
First thing to show Memeology, where he was crying because Jay and I were doing a May 1st.
Yeah, balls out of his
Lord
mouth
knows
first.
he's going to say this here with the tattoo
Sounds
near my ass.
disturbing and disgusting. How he says it.
But
being that drunk is probably the only thing he could
was
do.
like, oh, there's real stuff going on, and I got some really bad news.
I don't know,
They
Eric
talk about how
seems
I
like a type that would have a
masturbated
tiny little
He does not.
Yeah, he really
how would you
loves. Yeah, get lost.
Everybody knows.
Yeah, he's fucking showed his hog to other YouTubers
So I think
before.
it's not that he was doing any kind of op on.
I'm gay, I'm
totally
gay.
Well, it doesn't justify his whiny ass voice.
He likes
Look,
what chick wants to get with that.
He likes
I'm
to
just
think
gonna go ahead
that
and
it's
say
not
it.
my fault
Got
that
killed
I'm
by
in the position I'm in.
I don't have
It's-
anything
the world just is
against gay
against me.
people, but
Feel sorry
yeah.
for me.
8-bit Eric
Agree that I'm the
might
victim.
not suck a dick, but he would most certainly hold it in his mouth and let it soak for a while.
Psychological.
Yeah.
He may be
You made someone leave.
as fucked up
That's a
as
statement.
Christian. It's just served up
That's
to
what
him.
It's too gay for me. I'm out of here.
What if even Eric is not living with his dad, but he's
I
living
really
with
think
his
that.
auxilium boyfriend?
Yeah, and
he's
that's
addicted to
officially
being pathetic.
I think he's
added to
Which
the
means he's lying
lexicon
to his own
because
mods about things dying in his life.
on
Well, they gotta give him
He's
money.
lying to me. He
Blaqksheep
never
stream
told his
now.
mods, or this is his way of milking the mods for extra cash.
dude.
Like,
I think
you know, this
it's.
party was right.
I'm not saying this
Would find a way to turn it into a
out of
joke.
ill intentions, but I think he's kind of comes from one of those religious households, so you know, he might be a little closeted.
It's like, whoa, man, like your wife has cancer.
No, he's a lot
No, he's
closeted.
he's out of the closet douche.
Yeah, he recently
No,
came out of
whatever.
the closet. He's
Hold him
bisexual, he
accountable.
said.
He's like, how could you
That's
hold
why he
me
likes
accountable?
wrestling with men.
I'm going through this. How could you hold me accountable? I didn't know
Can he
someone
be
told me
okay?
this.
I don't know how to say this.
Man, I feel bad for all the people he wrestles because people are afraid to turn their back to him in fear now. I'm the hands fister.
He's a hand fister.
Things are really
He's an
soft. I
ass
have to put my
fister?
rabbit down tomorrow.
He's an ass fister.
He's an
Training
ass
him all week. He's
fister.
about to die. I've been doing this all the while.
Dude, but all the freaking like.
Ass fisting.
Problem, like, you know, Thursday,
It's not just that. It's like all the garbage he said on his streams too.
we are barely holding
Oh,
it
he
together.
says like
I
what he says is absolutely obnoxious.
Like he uses the F slur like 80 times a stream.
And YouTube invites him to events.
What he says about women is absolutely.
Yeah, and that's the thing. YouTube still invites him to events.
Yeah, this is all a
when he
ruse,
says
Phil.
stuff like that.
This is all your big fucking plan.
Yeah, I mean that's bullshit.
I'm not saying that someone at YouTube should take action
Come
against
on.
them, but they shouldn't be inviting someone that you know says that shit to events like that.
No,
What
there's a
events do they invite him
difference.
to?
And they still
invite him to,
financially
like,
fund Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah, there's a difference between banning someone outright and not inviting them to events to represent the fucking company. Because that's what he's doing. He's representing
look at
YouTube as
Twitch.
a
Twitch
brand.
is absolutely like what they do. Like makes YouTube look like angel.
So
if only you could send me a photo of Andy, I might feel a little better.
He goes, I know, I went through
Yeah, send him Andy's washboard abs.
this 2 years ago as well with some small animals and figured it would be different. But now our rabbit is going to go so fast. It's not fair, but it's life. We can't have children.
Manner do Twitch make YouTube look like angels? I'm just curious.
Yeah, this is him. It's 12. Well, no.
Because it's a couple of steps
Killing
away
money.
from.
Put these his
That's
time.
on Piker. There you
So
go.
yeah, he's done
It's a
streaming at
couple
this
of
point.
steps away from
Because
OF.
Phil
that's
released
why.
these
On
DMs.
combat, what else is there?
He was trauma dumping on to another random man on the internet he met through fucking live streams. Oh my god. Oh my god.
There are more.
Like, even if this was true, like, say I had to, like, let's go back in a time warp when I was still doing Review Tech USA, and I was sending, be like, hey, Jay, I'm going to be a little late today. Unfortunately, we got to put my cat down.
On an unrelated note, my cat is
He'd be
now
like, oh,
high.
shit, that sucks, man. Like, yeah, it sucks. I'll
Yeah,
talk
that
to you
usually
later.
ends up happening if they hang out around you.
And I would be like, hey, man, I'm back. You probably like, oh, so how's everything? Like, yeah, you know, it is what it is.
No, we gave her her
Sucks to
own
have a
kitty
cat.
weed.
And that would be
Figured,
they had
why
a cat
not?
for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's sad. But
Gave her
you know,
some
that's
silver
it.
vine.
That's what
My
a normal
cat just,
interaction
like,
about that would
doesn't
be.
get out of my face.
He's sitting here like pouring his heart out.
My cat doesn't
Like,
like
he's a 16-year-old girl who has a crush on a
catnip for
dude
some reason.
in high school.
Some cats don't
Oh,
like
come
it.
on, man.
If your cat doesn't like catnip, try Silvervine. Ours didn't like catnip,
So
and
we
she loves
love having
Silvervine.
animals.
I've tried Silvervine and none of my
Okay.
cats have ever liked it.
We find out why they can't have children. So if you actually go out of there,
1 second.
and then the next thing he lays on me. He's saying that the rabbit is the replacement for his son, and that's why he was so devastated.
Well,
he
this is the first cat that I've had
couldn't
that's
even do his pre-stream that day.
even liked
during the
Silvervine.
5 Nights at Freddy's marathon.
That's how you know he loved that rabbit. But
I don't even know what
that
Silverline is. Okay.
You buy them. They're like twigs,
by the
and they
way,
chew it.
that I wanted him to
Soft.
embrace
Like
being the piece
you're
of
talking
shit
about
that he
like
was. That
using like a little
I
plant
wanted
base or
Darkside
something.
Phil to just embrace
No,
being
it's
the nasty,
wood.
He was
obnoxious,
so
soft.
horrible, begging slob that he is, and that he should lean into it and be what's called in wrestling a heel character.
So you wanted him to be the.
Which I get. I can understand how treating animals like family. I'm not trying, but he's just telling this random dude that he doesn't know from fuck all because they feigned being nice to him. How pathetic can you be? How pathetic can you be? Obviously, very.
I'll be back. I gotta get ready for work.
Mr. Burnell.
Yes, I wanted him to stop like neutering himself and just go off and be wild, right?
Me as well.
And
Everybody already hates him.
So how he told me this, and this was fairly early on, this was his excuse for why he couldn't become that heel character. So he says, my wife is sick and has been all year, and she's not getting better. He says not cancer here, but later on he'll tell me he suspects it is cancer. But she has multiple things going on, and this year has been hell for us. I've lied a lot to my audience. Well, that's not surprising, Phil, about it because it's nobody's business. We did some stuff on stream earlier this year, but then things
Hopefully
got worse.
he's not in jail for any untoward
and we are
things.
pretty scared and hoping for the best. You are the only person I've told about this,
It's
so
a-
there's no one else.
it's a
Why the
fucking
fuck
Shano
would you
joke.
tell? Oh my god. But again, I think he told the lies not because he was retconning. He just loves the, oh my god, Phil, I'm so sorry. Oh my god, Phil, things are so tough for you. Are you okay? Like, because he's such an empty soul that he needs
It was a bad
sympathy
joke.
to make him feel
It's
feel
not
worthy.
lads.
That's why I guarantee you now. That's I'm not. It's not even speculation anymore. I mean, again, I'm not in his head, so I guess you still have to call it that. But that is why. Yeah, that is true. Quantum TV as well. You're right, Jostler.
Not look at your phone.
Is
don't
why
go on
he
the
does
computer,
this. That
just
is why he has
do
his
normal
streams
things.
where he wants his audience to hold his hand and
Remember-
baby him through tech
remember what
issues.
it's like to be human.
He knows he can look it up, but he wants to feel like he's worthy enough for people to help him. And that is fucking pathetic. It's really pathetic.
I can't. Same
else in
problem.
his life.
I
that he
can't
can
read
find this
anything because
information.
it's
No
so
friends,
tiny
no family,
in Fallout
nobody.
London.
This
I'd have to play it on a
donated
monitor.
$5 through
Which is
Super
I have to
Chat.
move my
This
PC.
is now the Sexy Coco 666 Mastermind Show now. I'm gonna give you the realest, fearless bad story of how I can't afford to see my dying
My
friend.
cat.
Yeah, dude. It's not okay. It's just not.
I'm the
bad
only
because
person.
like Kat's life was ruined when she got too close to Phil. Like I've said before, the man is a giant Sonichu medallion. You just get too
My
close, your life
God.
just falls to pieces. You develop some form of cancer. You can't have kids. Your rabbit's dying. Andy Worski's no longer chill. It's a nightmare.
But he made me snap, dude.
And then he tries to say she has found religion again this year as a result of all this going on. It's really rough for me because I used to be religious in my life, and then I changed.
I'll be back.
I'm supporting her through it, and we are really hoping that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I think there is, and then.
I mean, and he could say this is all optional, but this is all your streams are, Phil, is about how much the whole world is against you. How much tragedy has happened to you. Poor Phil. Poor Phil. Poor Phil. And then you want us to believe this is all because you were trying to troll him? I don't buy it.
Out of no.
Yeah, I do think like he really is like one. And then I hear he has the cameras outside of his house, dude. Yeah, he. All jokes aside, he's like one step away from needing to be institutionalized.
My wife is
where I'm
currently
doing stuff with
conditioning
you
my
guys
cat.
and things are going well and we're making extra money. And now we're going to be able to see a different doctor on Wednesday of this week.
No
because we
bite
can
equals a
afford it.
snack. If
But I
she
think
bites,
you
that
can now
equals
kind of
blow
figure out
to the
why
face.
I cannot become the big heel of the internet.
Just get on newspapers here. I'll just spray it.
Why? No, Phil, you just don't want to because you know you suck at
This
it.
guy, like, it's basically if I stopped working with him, his wife could no longer afford medical treatment. This is what this
for
guy
some
is
reason,
laying
this
on me,
kitty
man.
blowing in the
Like,
face
holy
works really
fucking
good.
shit.
Lied about cancer, and he
Yep.
Is the kitty like
He's right.
being disciplined really easily?
He's trying to
Yeah,
make
usually
it like,
takes about 2, 3,
hey
and
man,
then
if
she
you
doesn't
stop
do the
working with me,
behavior
you know
again.
what could happen?
Is the kitty having
He's a lunatic. It's not even, he's a lunatic.
He was bashing Boogie for the same thing. Oh, cancer. Well, now.
But none of this even makes sense. Like, just say
This is just as
Oh,
bad as
yeah, we
what-
clip her nails all the
afraid of
time.
the detractors giving you
And then if you add in
She's,
the cat? Very
I'm the
all,
pants pisser.
yeah, she's a great cat.
DSP to Craig with Keen in the background. I am a guest on your show.
Yeah,
I can
she's
ask
just
whatever question
she's
I
just
want, right?
barely a
DSP
year
to you.
old.
Oh my.
Yeah, dude, because
So, you know,
he
there's
doesn't
still
see
some things that
opportunity with me.
we got to condition out of her.
Which is funny, doesn't matter our sub counts. I get like 3 times the viewership he
Yeah,
does.
we give her a shower once a month.
Which
and-
isn't saying much, but still, 3 times the viewership concurrently is 3 times the viewership, right?
Yeah. But we're trying to condition her to
But he's too stupid. He's one of
You
the
know,
dumbasses. Oh, he just looks at a sub
deal
count and
with-
thinks that that's everything.
just
extra criticism.
if you bite,
and that's why
you don't
can't
get a
be over the
snag.
top
If
with
you
your
don't
persona
bite,
and be interesting.
then you get a
Just tell me
snag.
you don't want to do it if that's the case. If this is a lie, you know what I'm
Like
saying?
we're trying to
Like,
make it to where she's not
There has to be some
aggressively
truth to
begging
this,
for
because a lot of
food
what Phil does is
ever.
based on some measure of truth, like a grain of it.
Yeah.
Because I recall him doing a couple streams talking about, we got to see.
She's
the
just
doctor, he's not
very
getting into it,
gluttonous.
Yada, yada,
She's
yada.
a food
That
motivated
poor girl
cat.
just needs
You
to
know?
diet. Then you can have a kid.
Well, you know what?
Oh,
It's
so
funny
we're
you
gonna
say
get
that.
So
into
when you condition her, you
Don't
got to
want
involve
Phil
food.
Gundam.
Yeah, but
You
we
don't
know her
want- Phil
weakness.
can't
So as
handle
long as you
himself.
condition the food is given,
Phil can't
when
handle a mic
respect is
stand. He
given,
cannot handle
then
changing
you don't
a
have to
diaper.
worry about the biting or the
So we're gonna get
scratching.
into the cults of why
And
dieting
she's gotten
doesn't
really
work.
good. Just takes a little bit more work.
For a chubby girl.
As I'm praising you,
He actually
I'm the
explained
pants pisser.
Comic book
She
chat
just wants to
donated
play.
$5 through super chat. Rich, do you prefer?
Her
if
eyes
people
are all
text you in
big.
one
She
big
wants to
text or
play.
several smaller texts? I
I think
personally
yeah,
prefer fewer
I'm
texts, but
not
that's
making
just
it a
me.
success.
But
She
not
did
feel
sleep
wrong.
all day today.
Yeah, you
I-
want to play really bad.
I just want you to say what you need to
It's the
say to
wand toy
communicate
out.
with me, and that's it.
I'm playing Redfall, and I don't get
That's
the negative about it.
I don't
Redfall
need to know your whole life
shit.
story. I just like.
I
What do you
got
need to say? Is it
my
important?
refund on it.
Cool. Is it not?
So
Then shut the
fast.
fuck up.
Objectively, one of the worst games right next to
I think
Concord.
that was on purpose. I think
You know,
the goal for that was so that
just are
Microsoft had a
long-winded,
glaring
man. Not
example
like
of
this
failure
lunatic, but
to
you
point
get what
to
I'm
for
saying.
How to lie.
for the
Gundam, you
antitrust
literally said that. You start with the
investigators,
truth, and then you build
so
the lie around
that they
it.
could
It all
get
makes
the
sense, right?
He's like George
the
Costanza from
Activision
Seinfeld, but he doesn't have
merger
Jerry, Kramer, and Elaine to keep
approved.
him alive.
No, it was when by the time they bought Bethesda, Redfall was near complete. There wasn't
yeah,
anything
Robo is
they
correct.
could do.
Yeah, Robo
The
is correct on
same
that.
thing with
Everyone
Starfield.
speculates if he's
It
on the
was
spectrum or not. It's
it
pretty
was
much
too far gone for them to do anything without like huge massive delays. They had to go as is for the two of them.
100%.
I'm in the minority, but I fucking love Starfield.
If you never go away,
That's fine.
You
I
do a lot
see
of our-
Starfield as
imagine
one
if
of
your
those
wife
like
is gone,
games that
and you don't
sort
know
of
how much
has a
time you might
place
have with
in
her.
the
This is
space
the person that you love the most
genre.
in the entire world.
Yeah.
And for the sake of
Yeah,
trying to
a lot of
squeeze
people
a few extra
criticize
pennies, you take no time
Bethesda
out of the
for
week to be with her.
making a
And I'm just trying
Bethesda style game as if somehow the formula is
true.
antiquated.
So again, either
and
way, he looks
I like
terrible.
Bethesda games.
He's making this up. He looks terrible.
But
If
at the
he's
same
not,
time, the formula
he
is
looks
antiquated.
terrible.
So
and how
is
many
the
times
engine.
have people, including me, said
The,
for years,
the
no one
engine,
gives a
the
fuck
engine's
about
not
your
antiquated.
schedule.
The engine
No
needs
one
to go
gives
to
a
the old
fuck about
folks'
you
home.
buzzing in the spring.
But
The engine needs to go behind the shed.
He has that again this year. He has spring fucking
if you look at RPG, I mean, you could say
buzzing with
something
spring
about
fun.
traditional turn-based RPGs.
You're
that never
breaking
made
up
Picture
something
that
fierce,
Jocelyn
brother.
must still. I bet you I still have it.
abundance.
The one negative that I've heard about
Eddie.
Starfield the most that people can't stand is the
That's me
loading
first.
screens.
That's why I'm saying that it
can
only
load
has
shit to
its
PS
place.
or controller.
That it's
What,
only
is it
a
this one?
place somewhere in
Nah,
the
that's a
space
good one too,
genre. I'm trying to be as nice as I can be. And I'm really trying hard. I'm really trying hard. Like everything I've seen and the amount of gameplay plus the amount of hours that you can spend in that game.
Brilliant plan, Phil.
Really
Love
doesn't
it.
like
Brilliant
make it
plan. We
the
all believe
best,
you.
like
there's Phil sitting
like,
next to your
I
bed.
have
That's probably what he looked like, and he was texting PPP in the wee hours of the morning, drinking
11
gin.
or 12 times. I've
what
logged
about-
over 20 days worth of gameplay in that game.
Where is it, dude?
So I like it.
This is this is him in a yearbook. Maybe
And
it's
you
this
know what
year.
we say to that? To each their own.
I've got bad taste.
I don't know.
I've got questionable taste. Just ask my ex-wife.
Let me see if I can find it somewhere else.
So when is your cat biting you? Like just randomly?
No, she just woke up from a long nap, and then to top it all off,
I probably
we
can't let me
vacuumed the
look real
room,
quick.
so that kind of pissed her off.
The best way to get your cat to stop biting you is when the cat bites your hand. You don't jam it. You just gently push in. Don't pull out, because then that's play, and they'll just rip harder. Just gently push in into their mouth. They hate that. And they'll stop.
He has a stupid.
He doesn't do it to me.
Smiling face.
He only does it to my wife.
Well, then tell her to push in.
Just
Gently
replace
push
the face
into the
with
mouth.
Smiling. Someone put the
Oh, yeah,
pissed off face. This is from August.
It worked.
That face right there just summarizes Phil's
DM
entire
you,
existence.
like, about how the video's going.
All right.
Yeah, good
Buzzing
night,
with
Luke, I
spring
love
fun.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Oh God, man.
One of the problems is like they use the term, which other games have too, and they have the same problem. Is they make a game, they're like, you can go to different planets and explore. It's open world. Okay. The problem is that it's not a world.
Here he goes saying, I told her that.
So it's not really open.
Mods have made the game a lot better.
Because he's painted himself in this corner. Is that
Okay, I have an opinion on that, if I may.
He made it this way, so it is
About
kind of true.
calling it an open world when it's not an open world because it's not a
That
world.
has to be
Well, not
as
just
accessible
no.
to his audience,
Look.
hoping that one dent will come through.
I see
That'll
it,
give
and this
him
is kind of
money.
a thing with Bethesda too.
That's
Like,
his
while it
stream
has
style.
endeared Skyrim to many
not that
people,
he's
the
looking
mod
for
community,
Slow down.
all the things that you can make. But if you have to strictly rely on the mod
He has to be
community
there enough
to
to
just put
one
life
person.
into the other
He'll
worlds
wait-
in
there's
that
times
game,
he's
then
went and just waited in like the
you
PS5
didn't.
and PS4 menu screens.
I just don't feel like they
Just going back
attempted
and
world
forth, someone
building
hoping someone would
with
drop
that
a dono.
aspect, which they heavily touted as much as they should have.
I will tack on to that. Is
So
that
that's what I think
when
it is. He has to like sit
you had
there and
games
hope
like
that if he's
Fallout
shaking the tin can
3,
enough,
Oblivion, stuff like
someone will
that,
eventually
and you had
throw
these
a coin in
glitches
it.
and stuff like that, it was like, okay, that time period and stuff. And then with Skyrim, the reason why that game had so much life into it was on the PC, right? And it was like, okay, it's a Bethesda game, kind of like Hold Your Eyes. Fallout 4, it was like, okay, it was like, okay, this is getting kind of old. It's not cute anymore. And they just,
I'm
like,
telling you, Cat is miserable.
when Starfield came out,
Like imagine
that
living.
it's just like it.
They live like
It's completely
roommates.
inappropriate
Just
now.
like he was saying about
And they're relying on yesteryear of like,
Like,
well,
we know that Phil
community,
doesn't learn
tolerated it then. It's like, but did
from
they?
his situations.
And
he didn't.
other games did not have anywhere near
She was no fucking Peach
the
herself.
Bethesda
let's not
charm
get it twisted.
that
okay?
that is
but-
just completely
but-
inappropriate.
She's a
again
fucking
to
weirdo
say
herself.
Bethesda games are antiquated
Panda Lee
when
was
they're
like
still making turn-based RPGs.
laid the foundation for
is
TikTok
kind
e-beggars today.
Yeah. I'm not
But,
saying that
you know,
you're
I'm sure
wrong
that,
about some of the
you know, they're living like roommates right now.
the engine being outdated, but yeah,
Also,
when
he
it
could
comes
sit there
to
and
the
eat a
RPG
sandwich as a
genre,
reward for 3 people.
yeah, a lot of fucking games are being made that are antiquated, and people still
Saying
buy
she's
them up.
miserable might piss Phil off, Rich. Be careful. Oh no.
Okay,
I think
I get what knocked for the same thing. Like you take Cyberpunk that came out 2 years before,
Cyberpunk
and
is not a fucking RPG. That is an action game with some minor RPG elements.
are you kidding? It has massive
Comic Book Chat
RPG
donated
to it.
$5 through Super Chat.
Massive.
Rich, if YouTube ever decided
Ever
to
since
put something in your
2.0, you
terms of
can't do
service that says you
dick
can't
in
ask for
that
donation,
game.
that would be the end of Phil.
You either go full send Devastan or you go Netrunner. There is no in between.
But when you're talking about
what's
like
funny? He
the
actually got in
quality,
trouble,
the
too,
the
Comic Book
polish
Chat.
of the game
Where
and
remember
how
he
it
was
runs
playing
and
Call of
how
Duty
you interact
Warzone,
and stuff
and
like
he was
that.
kind of like
There's no
or people if he
They
did something they
spent
have to pay
9 years
and people wouldn't
developing
pay,
that game, and it
and he would
still
get pissed
came out
off.
buggy and unfinished. There's
And
no
then,
excuse for that.
He found
There
out it
wasn't.
was against YouTube's terms of service, so he
and
had
they
to
were
stop doing
held
it.
accountable for it.
Stuff definitely
And
dropped on your
2.0,
Outlook, guys.
they made a
Collabs
lot
with. You see
of
where this is going?
questionable
So it's like my
and
wife
just
is sick, but
thoroughly
has home
unnecessary
health,
changes
spend more
to
time
the
together.
system, and it essentially,
he's basically laying
it's
the
essentially a
audience
bait and switch. People bought the game because it was supposed to be an action RPG,
and his
and they
relationship with his wife
stripped
on
90%
if he keeps
of
working
the
with Kino
RPG
Casino.
elements out of it.
That is
and
insane.
now they're not even advertising it as an RPG anymore. They're
on their
calling it an
show
action adventure game.
to secure his own
That's not
livelihood.
what I bought.
That
That's
is the
not what I
most
fucking
pathetic
signed
thing
up
ever.
But now
But,
things are drying up
like,
because you guys aren't doing
Again,
collabs.
when it comes to Bethesda, the issue with Starfield was that it was stretching an engine beyond its years still,
And he's telling me by the way
and
now that these are all lies. That every single part of this was
the
just a lie and a
quality
manipulation.
of when the game came out,
again,
their
either way.
attitude, which they did say, they did say it was,
diabetes and it's turning to cancer.
we'll fix it later, it's fine, tough luck. And that was a horrible take to it. Games should not come out like that anymore. There was no excuse for how Starfield came out.
Starfield came out a
it's
hell of a lot
Gumby's
better
hilarious.
than
I don't agree with all the
Cyberpunk did.
mistakes. You know, he kind of gives them the get what go broke.
But
At least the
that's
game
not,
was
fan of,
that's
but
not an
he's
excuse.
a funny
Hold on, that's not an excuse
Dude,
comparing it to other games.
Of course, Phil would have no problem.
Like you,
No, I'm not saying that it didn't need work, and I'm certainly, in full agreement that the modding community is pretty much the only reason why Bethesda is as popular as they
that
are.
fascinating?
But I mean, I'm at the game out with absolutely no fucking mods on it at all, and I had already finished like my 7th playthrough before I fully maxed out because I had to get to the level 100 thing.
Strong like gold for 5, just making sure I got all the no pump Bandy for 5 subs, Mountains of Steam for a sub, Lazy
but
Titan
again,
for 5
which
subs.
again goes to you shouldn't have to rely on other people fixing your game.
Yeah, no, never.
And Bethesda has been relying on that for a very long time. And that's why when Microsoft bought ZeniMax, I was actually really happy about it. A lot of people weren't. I was, because I'm like,
Coming for us all.
somebody needs to hold them accountable.
Dude, what
And
happened
now
to Mike Love?
Microsoft
He just
is going to
dropped
hold
one
them accountable.
documentary and just went back
Yeah,
to
of
his
course,
old
you're
life.
not going to see the results of that until they release their next game because,
What happened to Mike Love? Where did he he go?
So we should be getting a better game out of it.
Where did Mike Plum go? He did the Boogie documentary.
Starfield was
He was going to do the documentary.
Where the merger was finally approved.
Didn't happen because
like
you can't really
it
say
was
that game is
gone.
Starfield and Redfall were like Microsoft couldn't do anything. They were so they were in their build stage for so long. Like they were past the point of no reason.
How do you drop a
they
like
they
that?
could not.
That's like Netflix
fix
caliber.
That's just
with Redfall, they had the ability to pump the fucking brakes the entire time, and they didn't. Arcane was owned by Microsoft as part of the Bethesda merger. So.
But the problem was that the only option was cancel the game or come out with the game. It was too far.
They should have canceled it a year and a half into development when they saw it wasn't gonna fucking work.
What was this?
I mean, there's no reason to go into 4 or 5 years of development to release a product that bad.
Dude, something is off.
Yeah, but Microsoft inherited it. It was both of those games were near the end of their build stage.
Microsoft didn't inherit it. When Microsoft purchased Bethesda, they got Arcane Studios. Arcane Studios didn't start developing Redfall until after they were owned by Microsoft.
No, that's not true, because they were hoping after the purchase that Microsoft was going to cancel it.
Hello, all right, this is March 1st. Hello, all. February was productive month for
that
the
they
EDP documentary. We captured
they were
2
almost
days
done with it at the time
of content with EDP watching the Super
I
Bowl.
highly doubt that because they purchased Bethesda close to 10 years ago now.
No, they didn't.
I don't know. It's just still too like I understand quality.
They bought it like
quantity.
a year before that the
that.
games came out.
I don't know. It's just weird. Makes no sense to me.
And the studios, like the people that were leading making Redfall, even said they were hoping when the purchase was finalized that Microsoft was going to cancel it, and they didn't.
Okay, the acquisition started in 2020 and wrapped up in early 2021. Plenty of fucking time to cancel that game.
You will always be a villain. There's nothing I can do to change.
Yeah, but it was almost done. So
piece of shit.
It didn't cost Microsoft any money at that point.
Yeah, he does though.
They weren't buying the studio for Redfall. They were buying the studio for Bethesda.
And everyone's out together.
That's not true. The development of the games were wrapped up in the price tag.
By the way, she seems to be
but it still wouldn't have cost Microsoft a penny to cancel that game at that point.
Yes, it would, because that's not how purchases work. They look at their return on investment of, okay, we're purchasing this. These are the games that are in development. They're coming out. And they're looking at like, okay, we purchased this. How much money are we going to regain from what we spent?
A purchase in that industry is based on assets and liability. Unless the product is in a finished, semi-finished state, it is not an asset. It is a liability.
But they do forecasting. Okay, this is how projects work. They look at forecasting. They have to spend money to make money. They're looking at, okay, we're purchasing this. This is what they're saying. The forecast is that this game is going to make money. This is money that we're going to get back.
He was hungover.
This is how it goes. I literally have to put those types of things together.
Oh God, he quit that
myself. Right now, I'm building.
He was so bad at that.
A business case with a 5-year forecast. This is a project that's going to cost.
He did no research.
Right now, it's coming in at about 25 million. Okay, I have to also build in there, okay,
I mean, if the article
what's the return on the investment?
But
What
he
are
didn't
we
even know,
saving
like, what
by
was in the
doing this?
article.
This is how are we gaining our like money back like over time? This is how they do that when they're purchasing it. That's what they're looking at. They're looking at, okay, so these two games, for instance, you know, Redfall and the other one, they look at, okay, so what are the projections of the sales that we're going to make some of our money back that we're spending on this purchase? You know, they forecast that, and that's what helps drive what the price, what the sale price is.
You could tell he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
If they cancel it, that's
the opioid crisis. The
that
OBGYN
is basically saying that we're overpaying.
Gin?
That's how they look at a purchase, is that they look at like the long-term spend.
Well, it's a package deal, and if you're purchasing a company for their IPs, and you've got a game like Redfall, which is a brand new, fresh IP that hasn't been released on the commercial market.
I could picture Phil saying it, but I need
investing more money in a bad idea.
But I need to see it.
As Gundam was saying, was his
insanely
so there was a
stupid.
food bank, and what they're saying is, and this is pretty typical for food banks,
they
to
don't
say,
look. It's
hey,
not
we have
that
enough
like
of these items,
it's not that black
we
and
have enough
white
bread.
when
We would appreciate
doing
if
it.
people could
Like I said,
donate oatmeal
they
because
have
we don't have enough
forecast
oatmeal.
projections. That's
Phil
how they
took
choose
this
to do
as
the
that
project.
The people who went to the food bank were
Games are
beggars that
project
can't be
based. I'm
choosers.
telling you, this is how
But
they
it was-
look
yes,
at it.
and shit on the people
But it
going
was
to the
built
food bank.
into the
But it wasn't the
purchase
people at the
price
food bank that
of, okay, they have this new IP, these
Whether
two
it
new
was
IPs,
built,
for instance,
whether it was
and
built
this is why he can't do anything
into
else but video
the
games.
purchase price
He
or not, it
just-
was absolutely
he's too
moronic to
stupid.
spend any money
He's
at
too
all.
mentally ill.
On that
obviously,
game past
and too
the
stupid.
purchase.
He doesn't
That's
understand
it.
but it
and
was
he
but
can't read a
the
room.
money was
Like I
already,
said, I always say
talking
this, he
about
has
sunk
no
cost, the money was already
nuance to
spent,
anything. So
and
he just
again,
gives
it was
It's a shit.
when they valued the purchase, the value of the purchase, it's built in those forecasts for those release of those in development games.
When it comes,
So canceling it
to
would literally have
Bethesda,
been pissing money away.
Imagine the take that
no, that is absolutely wrong. When it came to Bethesda putting together a price for Microsoft to buy them out, of course they're going to present the game as, oh, this is great, so much. This is a huge win for you. They're trying to get the most money possible out of the purchase.
Is there evidence
But
that faked that?
Anybody?
Oh no! Is there evidence though?
Stevie Wonder could have fucking taken over that project and saw that it was asinine and party. It wasn't a group.
Tell me how
it was a colossal clusterfuck of a game. And
when
all
they told
Microsoft
me to go
needed
to
to
a
do
capture
was
card that
pull the
ranted
plug
about
on
how he
that
was a real
bitch,
gamer,
lay
sit back
people
on the
off,
couch and go through that experience.
Close the studio
But
down,
And then
or
there was a bunch of people that
or
That
migrate
that would have
show
cost a
evidence that
lot
we're using
more
a
money.
capture card, but we're still sitting back on
no,
the couch.
it wouldn't have.
Oh, that was you,
Yes,
Phil.
it would have, because they don't release the game, they make $0.
Yes, they make $0. That's it. They purchase the company. They shut it down. They make zero.
He says that Void.
So why would they buy the
watch
game?
my duty.
They,
I love how it has
they
to
bought
be.
the
King
studio
Snake got
that's
my
making
plum. I
the
just missed
game.
that.
They stopped the project. They're not spending any more money.
I don't know. I mean, look, he's
You're
updating
saying
his
that
Patreon.
That's not how the purchases work. That's not how acquisitions work. I've worked on
really
acquisitions.
busy with the EDP,
That's not how acquisitions work.
When's the documentary come out?
When a project is acquired, there is
I feel like
a
this was like
certain
5
point of
minutes
time,
ago.
but when you
October,
start spending money
we're gonna be
on what
going
you've bought versus what
2 years this October.
the company you're buying it from spending money. At that point,
They had to release the game because it was built in. the approval was built in
Then
to
if somebody
release the
stopped
game to
donating to you, it had to be they
recoup
got brainwashed by
some
the
of the money that was
detractors.
spent
Not
on the
Revolver Ross, Black
acquisition.
Metal Gear
This
Solid
is
1
how
tortured him
business
like a
works.
carpet
Yeah, exactly. In order to somehow
Remember,
magically turn
this is in my
And it
wheelhouse.
couldn't be either
This
that
is
A,
how
the
it
person is
works.
just bored with your shitty content, B, they
Projects
don't have the money
always
to
You've
give
got
at this point in time, or
projects
you've
C,
are
got an
no one's
always
idea
an
giving
of
them
how
money.
investment.
It
things
has to
work,
be that they were brainwashed.
They were being
and
withheld.
that's wonderful. But I'm telling you,
Well,
spending
dude, it's
any
like the
money
same
on
thing when he
development
blames
past the
games
initial purchase
for the support
of the
going down.
IP was
Phil,
absolutely
every game
fucking
the support
stupid.
goes down.
Except
you know
that
what
the
the
money
constant
that
is,
was
Phil? You.
that was already spent on it
It's
was
the
built into the
same
price.
fucking
They had
spiel
to
over,
release
which
it.
still fascinates me.
No, they
Because it's
didn't.
like, you don't get this by now? Of course you don't.
There was nothing that guaranteed a release.
You know, the
That
support
was
is low,
all
guys. Support is
Microsoft
low.
trying to get as much out of the
You know, I
purchase as
stopped playing this
possible.
game. I love
That's what they're
RPGs, but
supposed
the
to
support
do.
is low.
They could have canceled that project. There
So
was
I had
no
to stop
agreement
playing it.
that Microsoft was
That's you,
beholden to
Phil.
about releasing a game that had been under development.
They were
But
withholding. They were withholding
that's
support.
not
So I
how
think I
the
somehow
purchase
need to find a
got
foothold on
approved.
Kick that isn't your
They
fan
had
base,
to release the
and I
game.
have no.
Like how people
That's
just
not
play.
true.
Some people just
They
play
did
the
not
same
have an
fucking
agreement
game. Some
ironed
like
out
Mike
where
Matei, for nothing, he's a
Microsoft
huge,
had
super
to
successful
release a
streamer.
game that
But
was
he does
under
he
development
plays
prior
the
to the
No,
business
purchase.
shit.
the
And he
agreement
just
was
plays
internal
old
to
games,
Microsoft.
whatever the fuck he wants
That's
to
how
a
it worked.
degree. It's not about
They
the
Then that
game,
do
would
Phil.
they
It's
do the
about the
forecast.
personality behind
It's
it.
called ROI.
Return on investment.
No idea how to
Yeah,
do that.
I get that, but it was
wow. That's
not
something you
a
never say.
requirement.
Fucking sad, isn't it?
They chose
I
to
think that's
release
real.
that piece of shit.
It is real.
That's
He has
how
no
the
idea how to
purchase
do
got
anything. It's
approved.
like, Phil, do you know what the actual key is? It's not like the goals, the pizza
I'm
parties, the
all
bang.
I'm saying
Alright,
is
let's
that
ask
they were
everybody
not
else in
The
here.
pizza party where he
they
only
were
eats the
not
pizza.
obligated to release that game. There
Let's
was
ask.
a
I
choice
just
in
dude, I
that.
put up he was eating some like British food, I think, where he was having like bangers and mash. And I'm like,
Does anyone else want to weigh in
this
on our
isn't
two-way argument here?
like, or if you're gonna do something,
what?
do like a hot one shit, Phil. Do like
If
something.
you said wait,
really,
what? Then
you
I
have
guess
to
you don't want to
suffer.
weigh
You
in.
have to be uncomfortable.
Look,
You
Well,
just
I'm
eating
not really
regular
into
food that you're
Bethesda
enjoying.
games unless it's Doom.
And don't
so
say, "Oh, the videos do
I
great."
can't
in
say
One, they
general,
don't.
the
We
way a
checked.
purchase goes is that these
Then
IPs,
just make shorts for them. If you
they're
if you just
purchasing
want people to
an
watch
IP.
DSP tries
It's
it,
not a
they're
liability. It's a, these
you
are
could,
the
even your stupid ass could
the
do well with
it
shorts.
is an asset. They've already built these things.
I
You
don't.
just
You got
want
an
people
I don't
to
opinion?
get
pay
into
for
those
your
kind of
fucking
topics
food.
because I don't understand those
And
topics because I don't really
reward reach.
pay
I'm
attention to
calling
the IP
DoorDash.
purchase and all that.
I don't know.
Have a good night, Jostler.
Yeah.
All projects are they all
It's
cost.
matches.
All projects
It's
cost.
called being
You have
entertaining,
to.
Phil.
They don't
If you are consistently
make
entertaining,
money while
then you'll get
they're a
money from your
project,
fans. Like, and you'll grow
right?
because they'll tell their
It's
friends about the
it's
show or they'll
the
share the link on social, and
it's
you'll
the
grow, Phil. That's how
forecasting.
you do
It's
it. You have
the
to actually be
ROI.
good.
It's the
You have to actually be
KPIs.
entertaining.
It's
By the way,
But
put
he
it
there's a
was
whole
hard before the
thing
bar.
that goes
Pizza Hut?
into it.
It was
But again, he
When
feels that he
Microsoft
is entitled.
approved at the Microsoft level,
Like
right?
he
The
always
game
says
was
his. I think
factored
he says
in.
his legacy, right?
It made no
Like Phil,
sense
no
to
one
not
cares.
release
No
the
one gives a
game.
fuck about
I
review.
have
Like most people.
I have an opinion
Like
on this.
no one
Okay.
cares about our legacy.
That may please
no one
both
really
sides.
gives a
It may
fuck
not.
about Review Tech USA.
Probably
No
not.
one cares.
Okay,
Go ahead.
probably not. Okay, so
Oscars, Phil.
Trying to
This
please
kinda-
Rocco is not gonna happen. That's basically what she's trying to tell you.
That is an
right now, but
unwinnable
I'm still
battle.
doing
That's a
that.
chick that
But
has
you
no
just
fucking
overestimate your
yeah.
worth.
What's the
Like
term?
Becky Boop.
Yeah, no fucking
It's the
quit
same.
in her.
Like, come back.
I think the
down
term
to
is
this
give.
planet, dude. There's a billion people who did what you did, but are
But
doing what
the way I see it is,
you
I'm going to look at this a little differently, okay? I get it from the fan perspective. I get it and understand it from the business perspective. Believe it or not, and this may sound completely unrelated, but my dad used to be a store manager at a GameStop, right? and he would see the numbers for his local stores, and he'd also get to talk to some of these vendors and stuff like when physical media was still a big thing.
I can't just rest
And you
on the
went off the
fact
store
that I
numbers
had
still?
Review Tech USA for over a decade.
And he was telling me, he's like, yeah, some of these games, you know,
even if it was still here,
aren't that great, but then others are really good.
Still here.
But when I see all these different people, like when acquisitions happen, sometimes they just put out a bad game, knowing that it's probably not going to be the best, just as a show of goodwill that, hey, we're not going to just completely steamroll everything that you guys were doing before we took over. Even if it doesn't seem like a great idea, and it may hurt the image, it's sort of in a different way of like building trust. So I'm just going to be optimistic and say the money was already baked in, so they just released Redfall to get anything back, if at all.
Exactly.
Redfall's not going to happen again, but I think they also wanted to use Redfall as an example to be like, okay, this is Bethesda or Arcane or whatever at their lowest, right? Now when we release the Oblivion remake and when we release Elder Scrolls 6 and they see what it's like when we're all working together and have the full management, then maybe they'll use Redfall and Starfield as a footnote to be like, this was then and this is now.
That's
Who the hell
like,
even
going,
played Redfall? I wouldn't even.
That's true going forward of like, okay, these things can't happen again. But before, when they were in negotiations, like to get to a price point, Redfall and Starfield were already were already baked in to, hey, you're getting these games, they're gonna be close to release, these are the numbers, you're purchasing these IPs, like we would have made this much money, you're gonna get this. So,
and the reason that Microsoft didn't lose as much money as people think they did on Redfall is because the game was already basically done when they purchased the studio. The only thing they really spent money on was the limited marketing, which is significantly less than the entire project.
I don't even understand why anybody would play that game. I wouldn't even play with it my asshole, to be honest.
And honestly, those games, their budgets were already approved, and like it was, that money was already earmarked, so it wasn't really like Microsoft was spending the money, because that's like,
they basically treated Redfall like a tax write-off.
well, yeah, so it has to go with like, it has to go with like capital expense and stuff. So when they bought them, the money was already in there, which was baked into that price. That money was.
But they did.
They couldn't write it off.
What I'm saying is, if they would have canceled the game, they could have written it off, just like Warner did with the Batgirl movie. Even though that was a finished product, they never released it, so they were able to write it off as a loss. When Redfall was released, Microsoft could no longer do that with that game.
The difference is, though, is that with Batgirl, right, there was no acquisition. The money, so that money was like one spent like within that company. The purchase price for the acquisition was, it was different because it was built into a forecast.
There was a merger that took place while that movie was being developed between
Discovery,
Warner and Discovery. So it's the same ballpark.
It's always a thyroid issue. It's never calories in, calories out.
There's other things to consider. Releasing, it depends on where it was development, because you're talking a little bit apples and oranges, because you're talking about like software versus a movie or a TV.
We're talking about a form of media that is being released on a commercial level or not. And when it comes to the amount of money that you're talking about with AAA game, versus a blockbuster motion picture. They're closer than you might think. So
But they're
it's
not. You're talking about software development.
Yeah,
Because
His life is so
well,
versus like actors acting
pathetic
on
and
its own.
bizarre.
It says so.
yeah,
Not
and the
only
cost
can't we have
difference
kids,
between the
she's
two
at
is
extremely high risk of getting
negligible
cancer.
nowadays.
You know, on another level, think
But
about it.
it's
Remember Phil
not
got like
how
workout machines for
the
Cat that
money
kept
the
breaking?
money is spent very differently.
It
So
all comes together. Yeah, like
I'm
they
going
could
to
put
tell
together-
you that there's different when for projects when it's a capital situation.
Picture that.
Yeah, we're not going to
picture
agree
Phil?
on this.
We're not. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm actually a subject. No, not only am I a project manager, I'm also a subject matter expert in capital and project expenses versus O&M. And I've actually
There's no way. There's no fucking way.
executives on this stuff. I'm actually a recognized subject matter expert on it. So we're not going to agree.
Big, it was so heavy. No
You're going to think you're right. I'm going to think I'm right. The world will keep fucking turning.
It takes away the workout machine.
Hey, here's one thing we can all agree on, though. I hope.
Within the Ashes thyroid issues. You can't believe anything with Phil.
Yes, those two. But I was gonna say, when it comes to Bethesda and Microsoft, we want the hardware to be updated. We want the hardware to be updated. We want the engines to be updated, and we want the stories to be just as good, but a little more functional without so much community.
I am going to slightly correct. I don't want their engine to be updated. I want their engine to be put in the old folks' home, and I want them to get a new one.
Well, you know what I mean.
They did with Starfield.
There's no more updating that goddamn engine.
They did with Starfield. They're using the Creation Engine 2 now. It's pretty much the same thing. It's an iterative advancement, just like
Okay, but can they please just go now that they're with Microsoft? Go use Unreal 4 or something.
Yeah.
Her ability to process stuff properly.
If I could be allowed to say,
I think this is actually how it works, but
it's an iterative improvement, like going from Unreal Engine 3 to Unreal Engine 4.
Fluctuates and it's not there. How much is she
Okay, but how much of an improvement would it be if they went from the engine they're using right now to Unreal Engine 4?
But the next week, way bigger. And people just
I mean, 5. Nobody's gonna use 4. I mean, come on. This whole
4 is substantially better than 5. 5 is complete ass.
Yeah, like.
But it's really it's a new engine because you have to remember, like Unreal, this is what they do, right?
Oh, 60 pounds.
The Creation Engine,
That's not a thing.
that was an update to the engine. That was not a new engine.
He's like, I got Cat.
There's a difference. 4 to 5, that was a new engine.
Unreal Engine 5 is shit.
AliExpress actually sells.
There are a lot of companies that continue developing from Unreal Engine 4 because they can do more shit.
Ozempic from Wish.
Might not look as pretty, but it's more versatile.
Doesn't most game companies use Unreal because it's a lot easier?
Yeah, but a lot.
Well, it was between them and Unity.
Yeah, and some do have their own engines that they have developed,
like RE engine.
Yeah.
Or like,
Doesn't
Sony have their own engine too?
Or like
a good example is Metal Gear 5. That was the Fox engine. That was developed by Konami. You know, they had their own. Yeah.
Or
like
DICE's Frostbite engines.
Yeah, they do have but Unreal, like, this is what they do. It's not like 4 to 5 wasn't an upgrade. It was a new engine. You know, and they number it.
So it's probably going to take a few years to work the kinks out.
Yeah, probably.
If they ever do.
They will. They won't.
Walk over to the person that.
Because the thing is that if they don't, it leaves a easy hole to be filled by a competitor.
Like a prison bitch.
Well, I mean,
Unity would ever get their heads out of their butt.
Yo, this
Yeah,
is bitch
are they capable of fixing it? Yes, but if they start implementing fixes and end up going far enough along in the development to just release an Unreal Engine 6, then they may do that and just never fix all of the issues with 5.
Could happen.
No, if I cost them more money to come out with something
like, please, sir, may I have another?
Fix something.
They'll do both.
That's the
They'll
cold
do
way to
both.
put it, Trayvon.
It takes many years to develop a new engine, but they'll continue fixing this one because the engine is also tied with hardware as well. So developing the next engine, they're looking at future hardware specs, designs, and things like that. So they're going to do both. They're going to release updates and patches and fixes for 5, while there's the developments. But you have to remember, there's a lot of planning and things like that before they even go to actual development stage.
Look, yeah, that's true. But look, all I'm saying is when it comes to Bethesda and any more games from Bethesda, just please put something out that doesn't need 15,000 loading screens and works. And don't try to say that your fucking bugs and glitches are a feature. That's all. Thank you.
Well, and that's where I think the purchase is good, and Microsoft has the money to put behind, getting them up to speed with the technology.
Yes, because Microsoft's completely going away from hardware if they put out this next generation, and they're just going to transition into even bigger Sega.
They're not going away from hardware.
Yes, they are.
They are not going. What they're going to end up doing with the Xbox is they're going to turn it into a small form, heavily optimized PC for gaming. And yes, it will be able to do other things, but it's going to be set up as a gaming device, just like the Steam Deck.
It's gonna be Xbox is just moving toward the hardware being, you don't have a PC. Well, here's a thing you can use to play games on Game Pass. That's all it's gonna be. It's not gonna be like a console in the sense of, having just, exclusive console release, stuff like that. They're moving toward gaming as a service. But for people who don't have a computer, the Xbox is the option. But it's not.
I don't think I'm gonna buy it.
It's going to be a console in the same sense that the Commodore 64 was a console, but it was a PC-based console.
But overall, they are moving away from hardware in the sense that, with cloud gaming and stuff like that, they're not. It's not the same thing. They're not. They're not dependent on people owning an Xbox.
I don't think I would buy another Xbox ever again, to be honest.
A decade away from being, feasible for nationwide, because the infrastructure is just not there in the United States. There's a lot of internet providers that still have data caps or have speed issues with upload-download speeds.
So you just turn a blind eye to shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of places where you can't stream games. It's just not fucking possible. Because the limiting factor is the ISP.
Well,
I don't understand why we don't have free Wi-Fi like Japan.
Because you will pay for it.
Free is not free. It's baked into your taxes.
It doesn't matter. They should just be a central thing. I mean, it should just be like a.
Well, here's the thing, and this is back up. So Japan, we're talking about it's a much you have to look. This has to go with size, right? Japan's a hell of a lot smaller than the United States. The United States.
and it's one of the most densely populated countries on Earth.
It's really actually size. That's really what drives it. The United States, you know, where it's densely populated and things, yeah, cloud gaming can work. But then when you have to go like to more scarce area, and even like traveling between those areas, it's a huge endeavor, you know. So you're talking about little islands of Japan versus the vast size of the United States.
But when you're talking about an area that's tightly clustered, population-wise, as Japan, you put in a network, and there's going to be a lot of people,
and he'll never get checked for the tism that we know he has, and so
in relatively small areas. So it's going to be cheaper for them to implement than if you're going to cover, a country the size of the United States, where the population is much more spread out.
Well, I'm just saying, like, for their phones, it's cool, but like, I mean, it's an option because you can get internet providers, which is not even expensive. It's like $10 a month, and it's not capped. And not only that, but it's like 500 megabytes per second. Because I have 3 friends that live there from the U.S.
It's up to you.
Yeah, dude. Now you're getting marriage advice.
For mobile?
Fuck you that any of this was staged.
Yeah, for mobile and stuff like that. Yeah, you can use it for the city too. So not just mobile, but you can.
That's not a thing in the United States. Most cell phone service providers have a cap. Where if you exceed that cap, they throttle it way down because there's no legislation that prevents them from doing it. In Japan, there is.
So what he's talking, I know what he's talking about. So there are some places like where I live, it's an option and stuff, where you can actually, through your cell provider, you can actually get home internet, and it's different, and it isn't capped. It's different, but it sucks. It still sucks, but it's something that it's very, very dependent on where you live, if it's an option. So I know what he's talking about. It's probably not available where you live.
That's great.
It's usually like people who are like,
you think you're the only person that's done that, or
yeah, like where I live right now, they haven't put in a fiber wire yet. We're just now getting one here in the next few months. Like, I'm still on copper duals, and my max speed right now is like 30 megabytes. And I'm paying freaking, my grandma's paying $34 for that.
It's you see a lot of like the really good internet stuff like that, where they're really like building out housing and stuff like that in like older cities like where I live. So I'm in New York City.
Now
it's much more difficult for them like upgrading the infrastructure and stuff, but like when I lived in Colorado and everything, because like they were actively building and it was all going underground and stuff, so it just like depends. But it's also like, just FYI, part of also infrastructure, there's a completely separate infrastructure for what's considered enterprise versus residential, and the reason why enterprise is like way better, right? It's much stronger, even like going into rural areas and stuff like that. But residential, which is, you know, where you play games and stuff, it's not. And the return on investment is much smaller and lower, that it's just like the numbers don't support building out the infrastructure as much as like an enterprise. So
yeah, that's true.
I worked in that business too. So yeah, it was like I would see the maps. It's completely different. You're on completely different infrastructure.
And also, if you look at, say you've got an area that's, predominantly aging out, where you have a lot of people that may not be
Again, I don't trust anything directly out of
really
their mouths.
seeking out those services, then it may take quite a while before they get enough prospective customers to build out an area that basically doesn't have any demand for their services.
And also, and
which is
I guess I'm
amazing
not
too. Oh wow, another hypocritical thing
but
from
they
Phil?
do also consider, you know,
guy who says if
what
anyone talks about
you
someone
know
else's stream,
the
he'll
economy
instantly ban
is,
them?
you know, like the local economy
Which means he was
of
actually just
how much
jealous of
can
Strangely Lex?
residents pay, right? You know, that
Of course, they're going to build in the richer areas first.
Well, it's a matter of like because of what they're going to be able to charge. Part of the thing, like when you're building out enterprise, and this is also a big cost factor, is because this is what I was doing for a Fortune 500 ISP.
No,
So,
Zero Star. I wouldn't be sitting there
one
on
of the
my
things
couch
also, if they want to get to a new area, there's this thing called
and I'm just
dark fiber, right? And that's basically you're renting another company's fiber going out and stuff like that, and that's expensive as well. They're not going to do that for residential because that would like make your monthly go through the roof. They do that for the enterprise.
So as
I saw
potential
these.
backup if something
There was
goes
another
down.
video besides
No,
Mighty D's.
so,
I saw these.
and I actually would make recommendations. What they do is they're like, okay, we want to build out to here, right? They like, they looked at the projections and stuff like that and the forecasting stuff. It goes, okay, is it worthwhile to build it
Yeah,
ourselves?
you know, he was sitting there on his
Or
phone lonely in
is
bed,
it
like, and you're like, oh, there's
that
another
like
singer
more
from Phil. And you'd be like,
better cost incentive wise to basically rent it? That's the dark fiber. Sometimes it's a combination of while we're renting it, while we're building it, we're renting it, we're doing the dark fiber. Sometimes it's just it's not worth building out because on the way to build it out, there's nothing worthwhile on the way.
Which is basically what
So they just pay to use somebody else's that's already built out. And I would make recommendations of it. I would do the research and things like that and make recommendations on how to do it.
oh god, it's so.
Our
like,
infrastructure sucks.
And I've seen a lot of
the
still makes me
infrastructure of the United States is fucking trash. Both the utility grid and
the roads.
There's a reason for that, and it dates back to FDR. And we haven't updated basically the regulations, and that's the reason why our infrastructure. It wasn't being specific, Alex. It wasn't being specific. It was general. It's because of the dates back to the Great Depression. So that's how we got like all those highways and the electrical grid and everything. And the way it was, so that way they would build out. So they said, okay, anything new you can capitalize, but anything as far as maintaining, you can't. So that's why you see the maintenance, like it's just so cost prohibitive because of the way the federal government set it up, and they still haven't updated
Derek,
it.
in our fucking chat, like, look at that.
I could see that as being an issue.
Well, so
Holy
before
shit.
like the industry that I'm working in now, most of my experience has actually been in the energy industry. That's why
So what you're telling me is that antiquated law and antiquated ideology is why California's power grid is such cheeks.
Yep, that's exactly 100% why. They only can, yeah. So they can only capitalize new infrastructure. Maintaining, they can't.
Can razz me whatever.
And
if you
it's
really want to
so
destroy me,
expensive
eating the corn.
that they try, but it's so expensive. And that's the reason why, is because this dates back to FDR.
Just hit pause at any random.
That's why you say they talk about, oh, the roads, like, you know, they're crumbling this and that, but they'll build new highways over maintaining because of how it's set financially.
For them. The pendulum is finally swinging back.
Man,
my
like,
mom smoked
that makes me so mad though, because like,
holy shit, 5 packs a day.
Okay,
there are
look, I live in California. I don't agree with everything that is California, but I agree with a lot of things.
What's Andy up to tonight?
I agree that at some point we should have, you know, get away from fossil fuel cars.
Phil wanted to
but
fuck Andy.
We can't get away from those on an electrical vehicle when we don't have the grid to support the charge station.
Mm-hmm.
And how can you do that if everything's so outdated?
Fucking spoon with them after playing Final
They
Fantasy
can
VI.
build more to the grid because that's new infrastructure.
This is
but
220,
it's
220, 220, 220.
It's difficult because New York's having the same issue, right? The issue is like, where can you put it where there's already things there? It's really hard. It's really, really hard.
Because the clear flaw with that line of thinking and ideology is, well, what happens when we start running out of space?
Proud of. I wish I was.
Well, that's the problem is that putting those things in there, you're shrinking the current space.
If they never accounted for the for running out of space when they started building the power grid to begin with.
Sitting there on his free time, the man who says
it's only
no free
that
time.
Issue is only in
I can't
long established areas. For instance, like in Colorado, there's charging stations everywhere. Like having a electric car is not a big deal out there because they're building out there. It's basically it's the condensed places where you're literally going to have to take
1 week.
Where it's already tight, limited space, and
like
you're
rural areas
more.
in California.
Right, like putting in charging stations.
Just out of nowhere, volunteers.
Well, now you've removed parking spots. Right, that's a very simplistic answer, but that's you know. But then there's other pieces like below the ground stuff like that. Ripping this up, and it's basically you're going to lose space. So it's difficult. It's difficult, and it's difficult to get people behind it.
For our segment, he goes, "Did someone say nerds on the go?"
It's the worst segment we do.
They should have worked more on the maintenance factor.
It's literally the most boring segments, and people.
What rifle is Worski using?
That's
it's
my
also
personal
hard
opinion.
because you're talking about
scope. I tried using the green one.
There are millions of miles of line. It's hard, and especially when
that 0.5 speed.
It can't be capitalized.
Good night,
It's
Ash. Like,
really hard.
Good night.
But I mean, they could use aluminum transmission lines.
God.
Yeah, if you make aluminum thick enough, it could handle the same current.
But it is so
that a much thinner copper wire would be able to do.
Younger
and that's not feasible inside of a home because
I'm going to show it again.
Well, if you look into copper wiring in homes, they quit doing that shit in the 70s for some really good reasons.
Stuart.
But if it's an underground, basically super heavy gauge, continuous span of wire without a whole lot of conductors, it's fine. It works.
Well, electricity getting to your home that's not the issue. It's the issue. It's called. So there's generation and transmission. Generation's where they generate the energy, right? The electricity. And then there's transmission. That's how they move it. And it has to go to transition stations and things like that. And that's the part that is.
I understand how it works. The problem with electrical wiring in houses wasn't the electrical wiring itself. I mean, the aluminum wiring itself. It was the connectors and the coefficient of expansion between the two materials being dissimilar. If you have a lot of copper, if you have a lot of aluminum wire that's running in a continuous monolithic span, you don't have the issue. You could use aluminum wire in industrial settings a lot easier than you can in residential.
Yeah, but it's the cost to the transmission stations, not to the homes. That's the issue.
Here we go.
It's the moving of the energy to the transmission station. That has to go thousands of miles.
Yes, it does, and you're able to save money on laying that cable by using aluminum versus copper, which is a much more expensive material.
But they don't save money doing
But they save a tremendous amount of money doing
it. No, they don't, because it can't be capitalized.
You're talking about somebody that's done construction work most of his adult life. I know that the cost of savings of aluminum versus copper wire.
It has to do with the investment of it. It's not the construction of it. It has to do with the maintenance of it, right? To replace it, right, on those lines, that's not building new lines. That's upgrading lines. That's the difference.
I think the point that is trying to be made is they don't want to do maintenance.
They can't
because it costs money on top of maintenance. The maintenance on top of them also getting it in new areas.
Well, maintenance has got to be budgeted. If they're not willing to budget to set aside money for maintenance, then you might as well not do the job at all.
Well, that should be the whole. That should explain the whole power grid of California, then.
That it's a power grid everywhere. So the issue is they do have money set aside for maintenance, but because of how it has to do with O&M, it has to do with O&M versus capital. And they would have to pass that on to people. It would make energy astronomical.
He would walk by us and go like,
that's the problem, and it's an antiquated regulation back from FDR, from the Great Depression.
So in other words, it's an old law that's making progress really, really hard to
Exactly, because replacing the lines on existing transmission, that's O&M. Building new, that's capital. But that's the thing. So what you're talking about, replacing it, that is upgrading, not new. That's where it gets complicated.
Like, you just knew that guy was a piece of shit.
And that's industry.
He was trying to fit in with this boomer humor.
Worked at 4 different energy companies, so yes. It's just something I
was
know.
going to say, that's something my father has talked about, or my stepfather, because he is he actually works as a superintendent, electrical engineer for Field Corps, which is one of GE's partners now.
These are all real.
Because he's worked for GE for a long time. Like, he'd work on maintenance of power plants and turbines. And he explained, he's like, yeah, we could replace all this stuff, but that would take forever, and we make more money on the new stuff than we do on maintaining the old.
Phil's thinking about me even in his off time.
Because it's capital expense versus O&M.
Yeah, that's the way my stepfather explained it. As someone who literally works on these power grids. So
it just keeps going. Look at him.
I don't know if that helps gain some, perspective.
But like I said, it's the reason why it's the same thing. Like you have roads that you're like, why aren't we fixing them? But they're building new roads. It's
like on YouTube.
The old law, which allowed for the way that things were budgeted, is what's making it so hard to get older stuff up to snuff to overall improve the grid.
Yeah.
Because they're more focused on expansion than they are in maintaining.
So FDR put this in place. The people still, a lot of places in the U.S. didn't have electricity thing to get people back to work and things like that. That's why we had a massive expansion of the electrical grid and the highways and things like
do we have an HR
Well,
department?
under the
during
new
that
deal,
time.
capital projects were approved in order to get
me and
people
Ash,
back to
me
work,
being like,
but it was also
Ashton,
a means
where's the light at
for
the end of the
an
tunnel,
easy
please?
political win.
Just look at this one.
And
Hey,
nobody's
I hope you
wanted
like my
to
appearance, but I'm
nobody's
so
wanted
desperate
to
for
address the
I'm just
political
fighting
hot potato of what happens when shit starts breaking down.
From his audience to feel like he's a
Well, thankfully for them, they didn't have to worry about it.
What was there was already pretty new, and it was very it has small footprint.
They kept kicking the can down the road until maintenance has become a major fucking issue. Because, just like if you buy a car and you don't change the oil until you start having problems, maintenance is going to be expensive, and it's going to be rather than just maintaining the engine that you got. It's going to be taking it apart and replacing parts of it because it was abused. Same thing with the roads and utilities. All of these projects have been woefully
neglected.
Yes. I had a brain fart, couldn't think of the word for a second.
That's putting it very nicely.
But because of institutional neglect, maintaining things is becoming more and more of a colossal undertaking. Shit's snowballing.
Very many times before all this, I knew.
And of course, nobody wants to pay the price of maintaining
he's
an
like,
energy
I have a
grid
wife, I'm not
that
lonely.
was designed to last 100 years ago.
Well, it's also like, so politically, a lot of people don't understand this stuff. Like, you guys didn't know about this, right?
I see.
And the thing is that if the politicians, stuff like that, if they had changed it to be like, yeah, we're gonna allow allow this capital investment and everything, people will go, oh, those companies that already make so much more money, oh, the government, oh, they're just but they don't realize the reason why these companies can't afford it is because it's just such a massive financial undertaking.
No, I said it was a political undertaking.
Because people don't understand.
Nobody wants to touch it, so there are new laws on the books forcing companies to maintain their shit. And nobody wants to be the one to implement something like that or to push for it, because a lot of the constituents of the companies that would be impacted, would basically vote for a replacement.
He wants you to say, oh my God.
If the government allowed capital investment into updating infrastructure,
looking for validation. But I remember going out on dates or dating a woman like that, I'd be like, bye.
I agree with that as well, but that is not the world we live in, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, it's not.
Nothing is going to change in that regard until something catastrophically fails. In the way that we're going,
whatever it is, it's going to have to be a lot bigger than the Baltimore Bridge.
But I mean, eventually, you're going to have a catastrophic failure. It's just the nature of the beast.
Well, we've already had catastrophic failures.
Loneliest person in the world. You could be single and not be lonely at all.
I mean,
a lot of people
shit doesn't last forever. If you're not maintaining it, it's going to fucking break.
Yeah, IBM learned that the hard way.
But nobody ever seems to want to commit those lessons to memory.
I disagree.
It's not like it happened that long ago either.
Like, after a major issue, if you look at during Sandy, you had several yes.
I'm the pants pisser.
Fucking substations go down, and Edison Electric tried to keep everything going until they overloaded their systems and caused a massive amount of damage to their infrastructure because they were trying to keep people afloat. I mean,
it's a little different with Sandy in New York because
he's Uncle Rico.
So New York has
like Uncle Rico.
New York is very different from all of their states. One, New York State actually produces its own energy. Not that the residents of New York benefit from it, but the thing is they have something called New York Power Authority. And then for Sandy on Long Island, they have something called LIPA, which is Long Island Power Authority.
Yeah, they
can't actually. No, they have Long Island. So this is how it's set up on Long Island. So they can't actually manage their stuff and everything. They technically own it. But what they do is they actually contract it out so on Long Island, it's
Phil, this all
called
looks like you got the upper hand. Can we get 30 seconds?
It's an acronym.
Yes, you can.
PG.
PG, yep.
Yep. They don't own it. They are paid to maintain it. But everything has to go through LIPA.
Spread your cheeks.
So
Taco, go look at what I'm doing on my stream real quick.
I'm the pants pisser. I'm the pants pisser. I'm the pants pisser. I'm the pants pisser. I'm the pants pisser.
So yeah, Long Island is actually they actually own it. They just don't actually. They just can't actually manage it.
Oh my god. He knew how pathetic this was going to be. He tried to get in front of it,
survived.
Which is what I said on his show.
Which
is what I said before I was on the show.
Yeah. When it comes to property damage, just because of the value of the property that was damaged, Sandy is the most expensive hurricane that's ever hit. But in terms of overall widespread damage, Katrina's a hell of a lot worse. I've been through Katrina, Rita stuff, Isaac, a shitload of tropical storms, Hurricane Andrew in the 90s.
I got off with a relatively safe one. I only had to go through Irma when I was in Florida high school.
I don't have
Not high school, college.
Yeah, LIPA was created because the cost of electricity previous to LIPA being formed, we're talking like 80s and 90s, something like that, it's really expensive. So they formed LIPA, it was supposed to bring costs down. Well, it didn't. And it became, LIPA was...
It just drove them back up.
LIPA was a complete failure, and that's why, but they still own the infrastructure. They just pay PSG to maintain it, but PSG doesn't own it.
That's why they are always slow.
I bet you he has a stupid fucking...
Anything that they want to do has to be approved by
So they might as well be tied to a freaking post.
Well, LIPA, so there's been threats of like either finding a new company to manage it or LIPA actually like fully like taking ownership of it and stuff. That would be terrible for LIPA to actually run it because it failed the first time, it's going to fail the second time. They can't manage it. They don't even have the the employees to do it.
But
LIPA's
he
like
has to do the schedule.
minuscule.
Enjoy your spring. That is so fucking. It's so weird. This one's better.
So it's like Edison out here.
You would think that a lot of these companies would be able to leverage these big projects to try and like draw employees in and create jobs. I don't understand why they can't do that.
It's like
LIPA's not an energy company. LIPA is a government entity.
When you actually
So essentially, they just nationalized all the fucking mines, basically.
No, it stands for Long Island Power Authority.
But I understand what you're saying, but essentially they, for lack of a better term, co-opted, nationalized isn't the right word, obviously, but they co-opted the infrastructure that was already there into their own entity.
Oh, God.
Yes, but they can't actually run it. They tried and it failed colossally.
Oh,
so they have a contract with an energy company. They're the major one in New Jersey. And they have a contract to run it.
It's too much.
And maintain it.
There's too much of value here. I can't get
nationalized wasn't the proper word for it. Because obviously that's a municipal entity, not a national. But for all intents and purposes, same thing.
They absorbed it.
Yeah. So there is what's considered. So there's a company called National Grid. I'm not talking about that company, but there is a National Grid, and some states have chosen to leave it. So Texas is a big one. So remember when the grid failed in Texas
during the winter storm.
Right, and the reason why people had no electricity is because Texas left the national grid. There was no way for energy to be redirected to Texas because their grid was closed off.
Yeah, plus it was spring fun. They'll go
They've
fuck
had
yourself
people
and donate to me.
They never lost their power during storms, and they kept using power just like they normally would, and then they get bills in the $15,000 and $20,000 range because essentially they were siphoning power from another company, and their provider ended up charging them for the cost overrun. Texas was fucked up and they allowed that shit
stitched up, looks like it.
Yeah, there's a lot of grids that aren't very good. California, I think, might have the worst grid though for large mass. In terms of like varium area, it's either California or Texas.
Probably, but I feel like
California is, I believe California is part of the national grid. It's the same everywhere. It's the same everywhere.
But our grid is so old.
They're all old. They're all the same age.
The three least reliable are Louisiana, Oregon, and Texas.
Do that to me.
Texas,
where it was like they wouldn't
decided to leave. They wanted it full because they didn't want to share whatnot. The unfortunate part was when their grid failed. If you're not part of the national grid, they can't redirect energy, right? Because their grid's closed off.
They're cut off.
Well,
yeah.
Guess what? If you have to say that, you're annoying me. You're fucking really.
Yeah, and how long was Texas cut off for?
They're still cut off because they are not part of the national grid.
No, I meant like when their grids failed. How long does that take again?
There's no more.
Well, their grid failed because their grid wasn't designed for the.
I mean, I think by grid, I think it means by like how long did it take that grid to fail when it happened.
Yeah, I forgot how long, because they were down for a while.
Yeah, they were down for a while. It was like 2 weeks.
Receipt of anything, but I think
Yeah, because
Minimum.
of the
Well, at least he
temperatures.
gave me just
Yeah.
a day. It's what I thought he would.
And getting the grid back up, it takes
He
a
needed
while.
approval
But
from
yeah,
And the kind of day and age that we, you can almost call that one catastrophic.
You're like trying to block him again.
That's a catastrophic failure.
Everything is good. I've just
Yeah,
been
it was
streaming
2
a
weeks.
lot
It
and
was 2
falling
weeks
asleep
and 3
right after the
days.
shows. Because the only time he'll
From
message
February
you is like
10th
between
to
hours of 4 and
February
6 in the morning.
27th.
And the weird
It's so weird. He'd say with me,
And while we're talking about the grid, you know what else Texas found out?
when he was like acting like when he had
That
when
their
he thought
houses
that they
were
like
probably
his
a little out
bodyguards,
of date too.
and he wanted to get me, which
Yeah,
I
they're
probably should have done the same
estimated.
thing for this
There's an
interview, but I kind of
estimated
got a W out of it. When he was
246
like,
to
I was like avoiding his
702
messages,
deaths
and he
related
had
to the
like this
power
drunken
outage.
courage, and he
Yeah,
thought
people
that they were
freaked
going to protect
to
him.
death and shit like
He would
that.
just start like
But they
messaging
don't
me at
have
like
an
weird
exact
hours
number
of the
because
morning.
there are other factors that that go
I'm like,
into
what
that.
the fuck are you doing?
My friend, he lived in
You always make it like
Texas,
you're
right?
you're busier than
And
the
he
fucking
sent
Pope
this
and the
photo on
president
Discord
combined.
before, and it was
But
his
all of a sudden,
roof,
you
right?
could write these fucking
His roof was
5-page
literally
essays to me
coming
at like 3:30
into,
a.m.
like, it looked
What
like it
the
was a
fuck
giant
is wrong
bubble
with you,
falling
Phil?
from the ceiling.
Yeah,
That was
happened.
all.
With spring fun.
With the weight of the ice and snow collapsed his roof.
Yeah,
Oh,
and that was
God,
happening
yeah,
to
I
a lot
almost
of
know
his
it's time
neighbors.
to wrap up, man. I
Well,
gotta look
when
at
you
this
look
again.
at a state like Texas, yeah, you're not going to have the roof joists on the same same center that you would up north because the roofs don't have to withstand as much weight.
Here it is.
Because you're not getting a lot of snow. Well, you're not getting hardly any snow.
Another one. These are
So
all
when it
fucking,
does
that
happen,
is
it can cause a catastrophic roof failure.
That one. Wanted. Yo, where's the one where he's
Yeah,
with?
my friend was
I got
telling me
another banger
that
where he's
I think
with
it was
fucking,
4 or 5 of his neighbors had the
Jocelyn
same
made
thing
it where he's with Ethan and Eric.
within like 3 days.
That one's good too. They're 2 peas in the fucking pod. Oh yeah.
So,
I made a gif of the reward. Look at this. Him eating food that someone else paid for. Like probably $1,500 of support for
yeah,
That's great. There's this what Jocelyn made.
It's a like there's no
Leftist just screwed me over
simple
on my whole staff.
answer, simple solution.
Staff.
The thing about Texas was that that snowstorm that was unprecedented, like the temperatures and things like that. That wasn't and so the grid was not designed for a storm like that.
No, that was a true once in a century event. But I mean, you look at roofs in the southern United States. It's not common for 24-inch on center for roof joists.
Whoever the fuck Eric's doing.
And up
that's
north,
just a normal members only
you probably have a 16-inch on center. So yeah,
this is
obviously.
I think I said this the other day.
24-inch on center,
The
you're
joke
going to
is
have
this is
a
like
lot
when
less
both of their
structural
YouTube
stress.
careers tag, they're gonna be driving around
And that's fine. You're probably never going to run into this.
I can load his PS4 controller.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you'll probably never run into an issue, but on the small chance that you do, you're going to have a fucking roof collapse.
I just think, you know why I think I'm so obsessed with this picture? Because it just encapsulates Phil. Like, it's just
one of
that sucks.
It's entitled to something.
Yeah.
He thinks that no one should talk negatively about it. Just
when it comes
everything
to
that Phil's about
grid,
is
the
right
failure
in that face.
of the grid.
I think I got it
because of
now.
that
My
ice
whole
storm.
retired state.
That's something
I
that
think I
nobody
got
could
it.
have ever accounted for because you're not going to spend an obscene amount of money winterizing your shit if you're, if you get like 3 days of winter a fucking year.
Alright, it's time to bring this shit home, son. That was the most fun part of the stream. This Phil is a fucking pissed off me.
The hell is my mic?
I couldn't. Oh man, and part of me was like, maybe I should stay. I can't stay a little longer.
I keep seeing my mic flash.
I'm too gone.
not sure what it's picking
You
up.
would think I was stoned how I'm acting right now.
I wasn't talking.
Like, just okay. Take my the funny fucking pissed off JSP aside with Phil.
I'm gonna
Like,
try.
Dude, Sheep.
Could you imagine me unironically?
I'm really
putting up,
excited
"Hey,
for
guys,
first
I'm
Berserker
buzzing with
Kazan.
Spring fun.
Yeah,
that's like that dad joke shit.
Yeah.
And it's just
It
like,
looks
dude,
like
you aren't even a dad.
it just looks peak.
I don't know. Becky, I don't know. She.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm
fuck
kind
her.
of a sucker for cell shading, especially when it comes to anime
Yeah.
style games like God Eater and stuff.
I can
Yeah, those
understand
weed
that.
cells.
Berserker, that's the
right now.
comic book
Fucking
that
me up,
Keanu Reeves wrote, isn't it?
Not Keanu Reeves.
Listen, have bangers and mash, and
Hold
have
on.
your audience spend $1,500 to have you eat food.
I should know
All
this.
right, guys. We'll wait till 2:20 to make it official, but I will say my adieu to you. I appreciate everyone coming through for me again.
Yeah,
last
Keanu
and
Reeves,
mastical,
Matt
and turn out of my
Kent,
ass.
and Ron Gurney.
With 83 new members this evening, which is amazing. The support all around has been
Same
insane.
Berserk.
We will continue this. I'll be back on Monday with the members only stream. There's a pretty
Because I'm
high
thinking about the
chance
one
I'll
that
be back
Kentaro.
I want to guarantee you never know.
Yeah, I was talking. Sorry, I was talking like when you brought up Berserk, I was like, holy crap! You mean Kentaro Miura, who took over?
I thought Dreaded was bringing up the first Berserker, which is not related to Berserk.
I'm sorry, I'm confused.
It's
I'm sorry, I
2:20.
got confused.
Time for me to leave. Thank you all. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll be back again real soon.
Yeah, the one that comes out on the 27th, the first Berserker Kazan. The one that Nexon made. Yeah, Kazan. It's the one that Nexon's making. Yeah. It comes out April. Seals. This thing is gonna be great, dude. Like it. It's someone said that the developer said this anyways. I'm not sure if it's accurate or not because developers say a lot of things. It said that a dry playthrough, like just a dry run through, no extra stuff, right? Or minimal extra stuff, is gonna take 80 hours. Claire Obscura 33 or? Immortal.
When you said Berserker, I was thinking you meant this. I'll post in chat. There you go.
I don't know, you might have to post that in the chat about the
yeah,
other
I'll
stuff.
post it in the chat. Yeah, in the side chat here.
Yeah, no, I know you did. I'm just saying, there's someone was talking about another game too called 33 Immortal or something. Oh, okay. I actually didn't know that existed. Okay, that's cool.
I've heard good things about the comic. I've never read it, so I can't really say. But I mean, they've written, Keanu Reeves and the guy that created it with him have written a fair number of comics, and they've branched out into paperback novels. So, yeah, the project could, theoretically kick off into a video game, and that's like I said, what I thought you were talking about originally. But certainly can't be any worse than fucking Cyberpunk at launch.
No, Berserker Kazan is being made by Nexon. These are the same people. I don't know if it's the same team, but it's the same people who just put out the first Descendant. At least the publishing company.
It's probably not, because Nexon is I mean, Nexon. Did you say Nexon or Nacon?
Nexon.
Different company though.
Yeah, Nexon.
Yeah, they're a Korean company. I would imagine as a Korean company, they probably have a few teams, but nothing, super massive.
I mean, so far the game looks amazing, so I'll know on what's today? Saturday. So tomorrow is Sunday the 23rd. I'll know on Monday.
We've got over 7,000 employees, so bigger than I thought.
That's a good sized team right there.
No shit. That's several things. You could co-develop 2 or 3 games at the same time with 7,000 employees.
Can you do it effectively?
Develop games or come? I'll go get a mop. That's got it. That's a Phil sound right there.
And June of 2020, Nexon announced plans to invest 1.5 billion US dollars in various entertainment companies, and has by 2021 had invested 874 million USD into Hasbro, Bandai Namco, Konami, and Sega.
And they've done a good job with it.
I don't know if it's because of the cultural pushback on Japanese publishers, because when it comes to South Korea, a lot of products that are traditionally associated with the Japanese, were subcontracted out or published by Korean companies just to avoid the stigma of it being Japanese, because they were pretty fucking barbaric.
All right, everybody, I'm gonna head off for the night. I appreciate y'all being here. Have yourselves a great all night, and how about come back next time? All right, you got to export all these videos. I got more to do, but I want to make something out of that, so we'll see how it goes. Have yourselves all a good night.